Hey, what's up, and welcome to the Game Positive Podcast. Alex, aka the Slayer Giant on Twitch, aka Season Gaming's most prolific writer, is back this week for what is one of my favorite shows to do each year. That's right, it's prediction season. Alex, are you getting excited for E3?
I am so excited because it feels like we're getting full meals from almost everyone this time instead of just a one guy really participating. So that's why it feels different. Even though it's not like the guys that were not participating before were not really. It's just that it feels like they're coming in force this time. So that's why I feel like there's a different energy this year compared to others. I'm pumped, and that's besides the fact that I'm gonna be there. So glad to be back here, Eric. Thank you for the invite.
I am very excited that Sony seems to be putting together a big time showcase, like to the point where they're inviting people. But I do think it's funny how you say everyone's showing up with something, but like Nintendo's just not, like, hasn't said anything. They're still just like the weird thing on the side. I hope they do show something though. But yeah, I am also equally excited. I'm always excited for Xbox, but this year there's something in the air coming to the end of the generation. One thing that you can set your watch or clock to is that Sony ends generations like on a high note. Yeah. So we're coming up on that time, and we'll see what they're cooking here. But before we jump into predictions, there's two things I want to talk about super quick in the news, because it's relatively big news. One like for everybody, and one for people that are fans of a very specific game or very specific developer. But let's start in with a like nuclear explosion that happened yesterday over at Valve, everybody's favorite game developer / platform. Everybody, the good guys, the people that never ever make any mistakes, they just do nothing and win, I think is the meme. They decided to increase the cost of the Steam Deck. Now everybody's pricing for everything is increasing, so this sucks, but it's not a surprise to see it go up. Nintendo announced that their pricing is going up. Xbox has already increased prices. Sony has already increased prices. Sony increased their prices actually a fair amount. Up until yesterday, I think they were the kings of a pricing. Yeah, but Valve
with the Pro.
Yes, Valve would not be beaten. Valve wanted to be number one, so they went ahead and increased the price of the Steam Deck, which is supposed to be the value option handheld, by $300 for the 1 terabyte, and I think $240 for the 512 gigabyte. And I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I'm going to ramble a little bit on this, but I'll let you go first because I'm not actually sure what your opinion is.
Yeah, so much for them being the disruptor, I would say, because if they're affordable thing that just a few months ago, like at its cheapest, you could get a Steam Deck for $349, and that was the non OLED one, the LCD one that they no longer sell, but you can get it like in a refurbished thing. Like this was supposed to be their gateway to be like, if you want hardware from Steam, like from Valve, this is kind of how you get in. And that was the idea of them doing the Steam machine, as like, yeah, you already got the portable, but what if you have like your dedicated one that you can put in your living room and things like that. And obviously, like they had said they wanted to launch that thing in the first half of 2026. Obviously that has not happened because we're already nearing the end of the first half of the year, and they haven't even said anything about pricing. Then putting the Steam Deck at such a high price now, like I have no hope for the Steam machine whatsoever at this point. Like all the hopes that I had are like, especially pre the Asha regime, because before she came in, where everyone had already written Xbox off as like they're ramping off of hardware, they're gonna just release that super expensive premium machine to honor those that still want to remain in the ecosystem, but that's it, and things like that. Like everyone saw Steam machines like that's the opening for Valve. Based on where prices are, they could come in around this price based on the specs, which are not that big. And they're kind of like around base PS5, and even one people would argue that base PS5 and the Xbox Series X are still more powerful than the Steam machine.
They absolutely are. It's cope if you don't think they are.
Exactly. So it's like the only way that thing could have like made an impact is if they came in as a more affordable, or like as near affordable as the current machines that shot themselves in the foot due to like the price increases. Because otherwise, like, how do you expect people to go there? Like, and Valve hasn't proven themselves a worthy enough hardware competitor, no matter how big Steam like pretends itself to be. Obviously, there's a lot. That's what's funny. There's like 75 million Steam users. How many consoles are there? Users are. There's 150 million consoles, and Steam people up to pretend they're like the biggest guys in the world. That's kind of like what's so ironic. All because they're the only ones showing like the numbers of people playing the game at granular detail every single time. So that's the reason why you think you're big. Fuck off. But like it's like I have no hope for them. It's like I legit think now I see this as a super hyper luxurious item, but even now, like, why would I even recommend your Steam Deck? Like, you put yourself at the price of the as the Xbox ROG Ally X, which is
Yeah.
a more capable like hardware option. That's actually really nice when you hold. I've tried it at a Best Buy, and if you're like still if you didn't jump into the handheld PC like market, now with this current like price, why wouldn't you go for the Xbox One since you can install Steam OS anyway? So it's
The
like
the
I
white
don't know what they're
Xbox
thinking.
one, the
It's
white
even
Xbox
cheaper.
one is way
Yeah.
cheaper and it's the same spec as the Steam Deck. And
The,
and
the
if you
lower
don't
end.
if you don't
Yep.
want Windows, you can literally install SteamOS on it very easily. And
hmm
you have this you don't have touchpads, but you're saving like $300-$400 depending on sales and
Yeah,
whatnot.
and I've heard from many people like that have been hands on with that device that when they install SteamOS, it works perfectly. It's like most of the games that are like Steam Deck verified work on the Xbox One Ally X. It's just that the Steam Deck at the time was like the more affordable option because it was like, want to get a Steam Deck for $349 or do you want to get the $600 Xbox One Ally X? So obviously, or just the ROG Ally. So
Mhm.
that didn't seem like a good value proposition because it was a little too expensive in comparison. But now, like all of that has been jacked up. Somehow the Steam Deck base is more expensive than a PS5 Pro. Somehow the market got there. Where now the Pro, which before, like with the recent Sony like price hikes, that was like the most expensive like hardware option like currently on the market. It's just insane. Like a game like with this move, officially gaming has become super unaffordable, and that sucks. But go on your rant now.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, gaming definitely is becoming more and more expensive. I don't know if we're quite at the unaffordable part. I don't think that the Steam Deck being expensive really moves the
mhm,
needle because it's such a small segment.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, so I'm just a little bit of background context. I've actually been trying to buy a Steam Deck since probably January. So they've been
mhm,
out of stock um, since January, and so this kind of bugs me. So they've been out of stock since January, right? I literally am like subscribed to bots that will tell me when it comes back in stock.
mhm,
And it hasn't since January, literally since January. And once the price goes up, boom, there's tons of stock. And not only just new stock, it's not like they just got a shipment of new stock in. The
refurbished one.
refurbished ones are in stock instantly as well. And the refurbished ones are being sold for more than what they would have been originally new. So somebody
Mhm,
bought it new for this price, returned it, or it was broken or warranted or whatever, and then it got refurbished, and now it's getting sold for more than the original purchase, which is absolutely insane. Like there's no
mhm,
cost incurred because you're not buying like new supplies. There's not new, like it's the same RAM that anyway. That kind of bugged me. Now, I don't think that Valve is like super super greedy and Gaben's trying to buy a new yacht and they think they can just gouge their customers. I don't necessarily think that's what happened. But what did happen, and I think this is a reality check for some people, is that one of two things: either Valve is so small and insignificant that they are not able to negotiate more fair terms. Because if you
mhm,
look at Nintendo, a company that is probably the world champion at not
mhm.
being pro consumer. Like they
Yeah.
typically do things that they rely on their nostalgia and the love people have and the affinity people have for them to like not have to do stuff that Xbox has to do to try to win favor.
Mhm,
If they are out pro consumering you, because when Nintendo when Nintendo raised their prices, they first of all didn't want to do it. They
Mhm.
fought the shareholders for a while. They had a lot of pressure for months to do it. They didn't want to do that to their customers. So that's
Mhm.
brownie point number one. Number two, they gave their customers 4 months. We're still in the period, 4 months at the old price
Mhm.
to get one before the price goes up. Number
Mhm.
three, they also introduced a new bundle as a kind of a make good offer to get a discount on a popular game,
Mhm.
Pokopia or Bonanza or
A new
Mario
one,
Kart.
one of the newer games that they just released this year. So
Exactly. Yes. So they yeah, they introduced that as kind of a slightly a little bit of a make good offer. And they I had something in my head, I just lost it. They're oh yeah, and they're only raising it by $50,
Mhm.
not like $300. Um and they're able to do this because they can negotiate these better deals because they are a bigger player. So either Valve's too small of a company to be able to like move like push weight against these chip manufacturers, or and I think it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I think Valve is new to the hardware game, and they are in this aspect a little bit incompetent because they didn't foresee this coming. Obviously, they got caught in it and they had a lot of trouble getting stock, a lot of trouble like getting this whole thing set up. Like Nintendo, when has Nintendo the Switch have any had when did they have stock issues? Literally
yeah,
never. You've been
yeah.
able to walk into a store and grab one. It's not like
Mhm.
they're not selling. It's selling faster than the Switch 1, which is the
Mhm.
second best selling console of all time.
Mhm.
So Nintendo understands the logistics of this. They understand the market better. They understand manufacturing better. They understand how to make deals better. They're doing better by their customer. And it's not just Nintendo, because Sony, to a lesser degree, is doing the same thing. They have product on the shelves. They never stopped having product on the shelves. The price went up, but not by as much.
Mhm.
And I think this just shows that Valve is very new to this. They're very small and they are just not this console shakeup competitor that everybody thought they were going to be. Now, I think the Steam
Mhm.
machine is going to be super expensive. I think it's going to be a niche
Mhm.
product for people that want to play their Steam games away from their desk and on their TV. I think it will probably sell around the same, have the around the same foothold on the market that the Steam Deck is, which is very very loved by the people that have one, but not like massively adopted like a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Switch. Which sucks because I have a anecdotally, and I'm sure like there's other people that can agree, is when all this stuff was revealed, specifically the Steam machine, it was a really like exciting time because people did think that this new player was coming into the console space, into the like retail consumer gaming, like mid to low end space. Like I know people that never owned a gaming PC that were interested in this thing,
Mhm.
and it's going to be way less powerful than they expect. It's going to be way more expensive than they expect. It's going to be a horrible product for people like that.
Yeah, I considered it just for it being like, could this be like a really affordable PC that I can use for streaming, since it basically has like a PC operating system in it. So it's like, can I install Streamlabs there and just play from that? I even considered it initially when they like suddenly announced it late last year. So now, no way in hell, like
Yeah.
like no way in hell, like it's even in consideration considering just how weak it relatively is gonna be. I know a lot of people are saying that once the FSR 4.1 thing that we've been hearing over the last week or two, like officially launches, it was gonna be something that was gonna benefit the Steam machine based on like the hardware that it was having that currently was like using the older tech, but a lot of things were gonna be retroactively like enabled. Like I know even the Series X, based on Moore's law, is dead. They got the hardware guy that usually has gotten most of these things right.
Mhm.
He was even saying that if this is retroactively like installed, now even the Series X has like a new leash of life and how they can develop games to it even if it's older hardware. So it's like they had it, but now this reason, like whatever happened in 2026 with the economic downturns and everything raising prices and all of that, and them not saying anything, now that they're basically telegraphing that there's no way the Steam machine is going to be less expensive than the Steam Deck, that just is not going to happen. It's impossible. And
Yeah.
they're not big enough for subsidies and things like that. It's obvious that once again, just like 2014 when they first attempted a Steam machine, remember back in the day, like once again, like circumstances have now left them like stuck there in the niche. Yes, Steam is always gonna be the thing for the PC people. That's still like, relatively speaking, it is still the best store to buy games in on PC, almost by default, because the other stores just can't seem to get their shit together. Microsoft, I'm pointing my finger straight at you. Why is your Microsoft store so garbage even now? Like, that's still so. Isn't there any like? We talked last time about the forum that they put in, like, for the things that people are requesting. Please tell me there's someone telling them, please fix your PC store, please, because I feel that's something that needs to
I
be
mean,
fixed, like in that
I,
side. So.
I might just be lucky, or maybe I have like a unicorn PC. But I honestly, when I play PC games outside
Mhm.
of maybe BattleNet, I use the Microsoft Store the most, and I have absolutely no problems. Actually, I lied. The one problem that I still have with the store is it's a bit finicky and laggy if I'm trying
Mhm.
to join a Xbox party. Like if somebody's in a
Mhm.
party chat on Xbox and I try to join that from PC, there's like a little bit of a lag when you're first connecting. And
Mhm.
other than that, though, I have no issues. The download speeds are, I mean, there was problems in the beginning. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, but I use it all the time. Xbox mode is very nice if I'm playing
Mhm.
with a controller. They updated the achievements so that the toast notifications the same as the console, which I
Mhm.
love. I think it's actually awesome, and honestly, that's what I use the most.
Yeah.
So it's definitely come a long way. I think that the content, though, obviously is not matching
Mhm.
Steam.
And to be fair, like, I was talking even before, because that just happened recently, right? That Windows 11 update that delivered Xbox One and all that, that's just more recent. So,
Yeah.
uh, I haven't heard as much issues like as we used to hear, because we would hear the horror stories, because it was always different for people. I had a friend that just couldn't use the store at all. I had that one time, I don't know if you remember, that I tried to install a PC game. It was giving me this random error that it was just not opening the store at all. Then suddenly one day it fixed itself. I didn't do anything, literally. I just kind of let it. I literally just let it be, because I was like, I don't like PC gaming enough to go like the nitty gritty, to go through command settings and try to find like a root code issue and all that. I'm a console pleb. I'm a pick up and play guy. And at that point, I was like, screw this. And my brother got his PC back, so I'm in a laptop that doesn't really play stuff. So I don't play on PC as much anymore, beyond just content creation and streaming. But like,
Yeah.
um, to be fair, it's like, I definitely, like, to give you a point, I have not been hearing as much problems from the Microsoft Store thing over the last 2 months. Funny, funny timing. Let's just put it like that. But it just seems like Steam is still so far ahead on the curve, like, for how they present themselves to the consumer, that is like, that's still, it's always gonna be like a losing battle right now. They're trying to like catch up, but we know Epic tried. They tried so hard to like, with the with the different cuts they were giving developers, just put your game here, we're gonna give you more money and things like that. But eventually that never really caught up. A lot of people just build their Steam libraries, but
Yeah. I mean,
beyond
it's
that, like,
tough.
mhm,
I was gonna say it's tough. Steam's been around since I think 2004,
mhm,
and people have been using it without any other alternative for
mhm,
decades, and they've built these
mhm,
libraries. I think that some people have formed this weird cult like
yeah,
relationship with it, which I think is a little bit weird. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be really tough to pull those people away. I
mhm,
think that if Xbox's strategy is probably to try to find a way to squeeze in as kind of like an alternative where they're the game pass is appealing enough to them where they're willing to have two launchers, because I know
mhm,
something like if you're a World of Warcraft player, I guarantee
mhm.
you the vast majority of people that play that game have no issues having Battle.net and Steam.
And
Like,
to be fair, BattleNet's always been known as a great launcher. Even like I don't know if you remember when Destiny used to launch in,
yeah,
like, no problems whatsoever. The moment they went free to play and went to Steam is when all the problems of the PC version
yeah,
started like arising. So it's like, a lot of people do love BattleNet as like a more stable, like cleaner, like launcher. It's just that that was never like a fully featured store. It was just like for the Activision Blizzard like catalog of the time. And
yeah.
interesting. It's I find it interesting post acquisition that Microsoft just didn't like wholesale be like, we have BattleNet now, like, let's just put everything there that we
I
all.
don't think it's set up for that. I think it's all like it's a little bit weird right now that like Call of Duty's in BattleNet.
Mhm.
I think it. I think it. I think they should take stuff out of BattleNet. To be honest, I think it should be just Blizzard games. But I think that if Xbox can kind of set themselves up to be that companion piece. I think that they maybe even over time people will jump over. I don't know. But
Mm,
final thoughts I want to say on this. I want to end on a positive note. I will say that the issues with Valve in relation to this, I think, are purely like the commerce side, the like product management side, the like business side, not the technical side or the hardware side. I'm sure that the Steam machine is going to be an excellent piece of kit. I'm sure it's going to be really well made. The Steam controller is really well made, really well designed. The software touches are incredible. The Steam Deck, even though it's underpowered because it's like 4 years old at this point, it is a phenomenally designed piece of hardware. And like the what Steam's doing with Steam OS and the Steam's like big picture mode and the handheld mode and all that stuff is like really, really good.
mm,
So I think that they have it like they have it good in that aspect, but they're just not ready to be a hardware manufacturer in these times. Like I just to throw them a little bit of a bone, they did get super unlucky. Like if there was no like RAM shortage or supply chain issues or Strait of Hormuz and all these different things, and it was just a normal day, I think they would have been set up for more success. But seasoned, well-established hardware companies, console manufacturers, they can weather these storms way better than Valve can. And at this point, I don't even know what to do. You have probably a bunch of Steam Decks in boxes sitting somewhere in a warehouse, and your options are release them extremely overpriced to the point where it becomes a laughing stock, or hold on to them and they rot there, or like cut your losses. Like there's no good options. So I suspect they will obviously launch it. I think they're maybe hoping for a miracle where they can somehow get the price down a bit. I don't suspect that's going to happen in a timely manner. Um, yeah, I think it's rough sledding. I think that they have enough diehard um, Steam fans that will buy it at any cost, and hopefully, the first allocation of devices, hopefully they're enough to kind of take those over. But
and just even think this too, like the Nintendo Switch 2 now is more than half the price of the Steam Deck and is a more powerful device too. Like
yeah,
just putting it out there.
and
So that's
it comes with a dock. The Steam Deck dock's $110
exactly.
Canadian.
So it's like, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
they really were like, I remember how excited I was for the Steam Deck to be the first official, like, real competitor to the Switch. And kind of like also happy that the Switch proved that there was a market for dedicated handheld after a lot of people thought that that was dead after PlayStation kind of like left the beta to rot because they were too early and too early to market and just didn't properly support it. And they did stupid decisions too with the proprietary memory cards and things like that, and selling it as a console quality on the go machine that never got that full library beyond a year of content and from their own studios. Like that was the Vita survived as an indie machine for like its for the majority of its lifetime, whereas like the Switch proved that you can have like those console quality stuff on the go. Obviously, in the Nintendo quality, like lower spec, and then Steam that kind of be like, what if you could play the games that you already play like at a lower spec, taking it with you? It's like it was so exciting to think that that was a possibility. And obviously, we know that that market is slowly growing, even with other kind of like licensed competitors like the Logitech one. You know, I know they do just streaming versions of those. That there's also dedicated versions of those too. Is like at least it always felt like that was gonna be like the next battleground. It felt like, but right now where the price is at, I feel that battleground is gonna be like receded probably in the next half decade as everything kind of stabilizes right now. The Switch is well positioned at this point, especially with the
oh yeah,
with just being the only $500 like device currently on the market, as it keeps maturing on its library. Like that's kind of like the irony. The Switch 2 is doing so well, but it feels like its success is so muted too. It's like it feels like it's just doing its thing. It's like they're not being pompous about it. They're not like it doesn't feel like it's roaring. It's roaring in the market. It's just kind of doing its thing. And then you see things like in Japan, is like it sold 250. Both the Switch 1 and Switch 2 have sold like 250,000 units this past week, and the PS5 only sold 8,000, and the Xbox just 800. So like in some places it's just trouncing like its competitors. It's like
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
quiet like I
it's a
heard
quiet success.
someone's told me, or I don't know if they didn't tell me, but I just read or heard, I can't remember. They said like there's been an exclusive Switch game every month since it came out, and I was like, no, there hasn't. And I looked it up and I was like, holy shit, there actually has. I think it's
Yeah.
just because there hasn't been like a big Mario game or a big
Mhm.
Zelda game, and I think we're
Yeah.
due for that soon. And honestly, like I said, I was trying to get a Steam Deck. I was thinking about the Ally X. I think it's a bit too expensive for me.
Mhm.
I do want to have a handheld. I have the Portal, which I use all the time.
Mhm.
Um, but I probably am going to get a Switch too, honestly, and just use
Mhm.
that. I want to have the option, obviously, to play the exclusives,
Mhm.
but I'm just waiting for a deal. Like in Canada, Staples is a store in America, right? Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
they often have these deals. I actually just missed it by a day, which is very frustrating. I hope they have one more before September. But it's like spend
Yeah.
500, get $100 off, and like they
Mhm.
randomly just have switches. Like I don't have to buy a desk or
Okay.
a chair.
Yeah, I
So
wouldn't.
like
Yeah, I wouldn't think of Staples as the place you would go to buy a console
yeah,
personally.
they
But
just have they have like the Switch and like
uh,
5 different games. It's kind of like Costco where it's not really supposed to be. It's just kind of there.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, like they've had multiple deals so far where it's like, yeah, spend 500, get 100 off because they're suspecting you're going to buy like an office chair or something. But they also
Mhm.
it just works on Switches. So if I can't get that before September when the prices go up, I'll probably just buy one full price. I am going to pick one up. But yeah,
I feel
let's
so glad. I feel so blessed that I invested in all these devices now when I did at launch, and when they were at a deep sale because like I have my Series X that I bought for 350. I bought a Switch at launch. It's insane that I bought it at 350 in December 2023. I have a Portal that I bought before its price hike. I got the Pro right at launch too. You got one because you got your Pro at launch too, or do you wait? I'm trying to remember because it was around
so
launch where
I
you got it, right?
I waited and it was actually crazy because so random. But in Canada, the year that the Pro came out, it was like
Mhm.
heading into a new election basically,
Mhm.
and the incumbent like prime minister was like trying to find ways to get votes, and he came
Uh-huh.
up with this concept of like tax free Christmas. And so not only did I get the Portal or the
Uh-huh.
Pro, sorry, but I got it for the regular price, no tax,
Uh-huh.
which is literally the cheapest you could have ever bought one new. The
Mhm.
Portal I got for it was like randomly on a clear out sale at a store that wasn't going to stock them anymore.
Mhm.
Basically the Canadian version of Micro Center. So they were regular $279. I paid $199, and then yeah, the PS or the Xbox I got at launch $599. Now they're $729 here. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I will get the Switch before it goes up. But yeah, I mean, closing thing on this, I think that it sucks that the prices are going up everywhere.
Mhm.
I don't, or I'm unwilling to just use that as the excuse for Valve. They also made a bunch of mistakes, clearly, logistically,
Mhm.
planning, whatever you want to
They
say.
don't even have a retail presence. That tells you everything.
Yeah,
Like someone that doesn't have a retail presence doesn't really know retail.
yeah,
So,
there's a reason why the Valve device went up by 40+% and the Switch went up by 10%. And
mhm.
it's not because like Valve exists in a different economy or different market conditions. It's one company's been doing it for a century, and one of them
Yeah.
is just trying to get their foot in the door.
And I think
Um,
you can even chalk it up as like who is playing the game where they know where their bread is buttered. Nintendo's nothing without them selling hardware and people buying their games and all that. So why would they price people out? And PlayStation obviously is already set as a market leader, and they waited to price match the Xbox because that's the thing. They price with the Beyond the Pro. They basically price match the Series X with the latest with like the latest price hike they did like a couple months ago, and that one felt more like okay, it's like we already won. It's like we're already set. Let's just go where the market basically has put them there. Xbox felt more like a defeatist. We're not gonna subsidize this thing when they like raised the price to like a year or two ago under the previous administration when they were like, we're you could really clearly see that that was like the move. Like we're putting out that this is an Xbox campaign. Like we don't need to like keep paying for the subsidy. If people want this hardware, they're gonna like the very few are gonna get here, but we're giving our content everywhere. So screw everything. Let's raise the price twice in one single year. So I feel there's like market conditions are half the excuse because it's hard to not excuse it because so much in general has gone up in price.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, I feel the way you like raise your price kind of tells us a little bit about how you're trying to squeeze the
Yep.
you're trying to squeeze. And I feel Nintendo, in a way, proved everyone's bluff that it's not like, because if it really was, if it makes, I feel they could have like raised the price by significantly more based on where the market's at, and that goes to show you is like they just kept it little because there's ways to still make money like at a reasonable case to try to survive this current wave that people are saying that next year is supposed to be the year where all of that is supposed to stabilize now. I don't believe it,
We'll
and I
see.
don't. Yeah, I don't believe it because it's like I feel like I keep hearing all of that, and I feel like a lot of people were once they raise their price. I feel companies are greedy enough that they're like, nah, we're staying here. We're not gonna go down afterwards. It's fine. Like tariffs, like the tariffs from Trump were saying one thing, then those kind of got like receded, but they never brought the price down. So it's like it's very hard to just blame these market conditions and everything. So it's like I don't like praising Nintendo much because you mentioned it. It's like they're the kings at basically like bot effing their consumers, and and not only that, it's like their consumers have such Stockholm syndrome that no matter how much they get effed, they are going to like be like, give me more, give me more. They're like they're so captivated by everything they do. I'm surprised they didn't go harder considering the kind of consumer they are, but I think they just understand like what you need to do if you really want to like stay ahead. So props to them in that area. So
Yep. Is
still
the PS5 and the Series X the same price in the US?
the digital one is the one that's like cheaper than the Series X. The Series X with like the PS5 with the disc is price matched on the with the Series X, 650.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that in Canada. In Canada, a disc-based Xbox, disc drive Xbox, 729,
Mm-hmm.
and the all digital is 679.
Mm-hmm.
The digital PS5, digital only with, and this is the weird one that only has 800 gigs hard drive,
Mm-hmm.
is 750. So it's actually
Yeah.
$20 more for that than a disc-based Series X, and the disc drive 1 TB
Mm-hmm.
PS5 is 820.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
almost $100 more.
yeah. It's like you clearly see the markets that they still compete in. They keep the price parity, but the other markets where they're basically dominant, they go above. Like that happens with the
That
PS5 and
price
the
is
Series X
nuts.
here.
I
Yeah, it's
paid
like
629. It's
it's
too
insane, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I think
crazy.
it's harder than night. This is the worst generation for hardware adoption because like never have we lived through price hikes like this. Like it's so bad, but
Yeah.
that's the hell
Anyways,
we're living. So,
let's move on to our one other news topic. We'll try to get through this one quick because there's gonna be a lot of people that probably don't care.
yeah,
There's
but we
a
do, we
there's a
do.
civil war happening right
Brewing.
now, and it's not in the MCU, and it's not the North and the South.
Yeah,
It's Bungie fans. It's the
yeah.
Destiny fans versus the Marathon fans. So we talked about it last week.
hmm
And it actually is getting worse and worse for me. Like my heart is hurting more and
hmm
more every day.
What
But
stage of grief are you on right now? Out of the
I'm in the
like,
stage of grief where I went into my little girl's room and pulled out this book that I got that I used to read her when she was a kid called D for Destiny. It's actually made by Bungie. I don't know if if this shows up.
yeah, it shows
Uh,
there.
it was like a Christmas gift for developers that they turned and published it into a real book. And that's how much of a Destiny fan I am. And that's how sad I am. But what's happening right now is everybody's grieving in different ways. Let's just say you have some people who are boycotting Marathon. They're choosing to
hmm
boycott Marathon. If you're into the streamer culture at all, you might know Aztec Ross. He is leading the charge against Marathon. Now, I just want to say something because articles are putting his exact words into their headlines and stuff. And I get it, like
hmm
that he did say this. There's a lot of
Yeah,
context that gets missed. He doesn't hate Marathon. In fact, he's probably the biggest Marathon
yeah.
streamer, but he is boycotting Marathon because is trying to send a message to Bungie that says,
hmm
like, hey, I'm
We
cool
want
with
this other game.
Marathon. Like we like Marathon, it's good, and we'll play Marathon. But if you're gonna make us choose, like we're picking Destiny all day.
hmm
And I can't remember the name of the lore YouTuber from Destiny, Malin, I
Myetic,
think.
Malin is Myelin. I
Yeah,
think it's what. Yeah, Malin.
I'm a Bife guy myself. My name is that's who
Same.
I go for my
Yeah.
lore videos. But this other guy also does a lot of
This
lore content,
this was the
and
first time I heard of him, by the way, because I'm a Bive guy. So I was like, "Who's this?" And then
yeah,
I was like, "Oh shoot, he was also a big guy." I just knew Bive. Bive was more prominently featured by like almost everyone that I followed, so that's why he was
yes.
my guy. But of
But
course, there
this
was gonna be
guy,
more people.
in response to Aztec Ross, this guy has privated hundreds of lore. He's holding hundreds of lore videos. And keep in mind, like, if you're just a casual Destiny player, you probably don't care. But if you are interested in the world at all, this lore information is quite important because the story is a tangled
Chopped
web.
up and chopped
So
up.
and he's holding this hostage and making it private as a way to counteract the anti-marathon rhetoric because he transitioned into a marathon
Mhm.
lore YouTuber. Um, I want to point out one of my favorite Destiny content creators, Mactix, who you might
Mhm.
know. He
Yeah,
has a very awesome Discord if you want
the
to.
build guy. Yeah, he's the build guy. He always was
Yeah,
doing build, and he was doing carries and all that. And
but
always his Discord was full of people like partnered up to do content and
exactly.
all that. So
Yes.
yeah.
His strategy is what I'm also doing, and I want all of you to do as well. On June 9th, there's going to be a quote unquote protest that's happening inside of Destiny where we're trying to get as many people to log in and play the game as possible so that the
Mhm.
Steam charts and the internal charts and maybe the PlayStation beta, maybe someone can show the player count
Mhm.
on that as well, just to show how much people like Destiny. And if we can get that player count up to 100,000 concurrent on Steam, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a petition with 300,000 signatures, I think,
Yeah.
to make Destiny 3.
Mhm.
But in terms of what we're talking about here, yes, there's a civil war basically of Destiny fans that are actively trying to boycott Marathon in efforts to make their grievances heard by Sony. And you have Marathon, ex Destiny Marathon content creators who are deleting lore and history for the game that everybody loves, Destiny, to try to get them to stop. And it's kind of insane. I don't think I've seen something like this before, which
Yeah.
goes to show how important and loved this franchise is, Sony, just by the way.
Mhm.
But anyways, do you have any thoughts on this one?
I mean, 12 years. If everyone playing this franchise, of course, it's gonna have like its diehards and like a deep love. Obviously, this past year's been rough because it's like it was always gonna be rough following the year where you concluded your story, and they made choices that people were not pleased with. The portal was a big mistake. It condensed and complicated like the loop that we had carefully curated over many years because they kind of wanted to, in an effort to try to simplify things to get people to do things instead of doing the right thing, which was try to fix your entire game so your entire story beginning to end is available. They massively complicated stuff, and that sent people away. And the two smaller DLCs didn't quite hit, and apparently that took a lot of resources. And from like kind of like what I was reading, the it seemed like Renegade was like, especially with the whole Star Wars crossover of it all, they saw that as a Hail Mary, be like, could we really bring a lot of people back if we put Star Wars or something Star Wars adjacent like into this thing? And that like, and the player numbers didn't grow there. In fact, like it diminished from that point. It's like why people stop playing is because this exact year has just not been the best. But a lot of people were always giving the feedback what would they want for them to always keep playing this thing, and that's kind of like the sad state of affairs as this civil war is kind of brewing because today of all days they put out a big this week in Destiny where they
It
laid
looks
out
so good.
everything they're doing with that patch, and you're like, holy crap, that's one of like the June 9th update's gonna be so
It's gonna
good.
be so
Like
fun. So everybody coming and play on June 9th.
yes, because like everything you wanted from this game, it seems like it's happening. And it's what's funny is that apparently this was something that they were gonna parse out over the next year. Kind of like what I've learned. It's very clear to me that everything that probably ailed Destiny 2 is the fact that they became a live service that they really wanted to keep you on the hook every freaking week instead of how it used to be back in the D1 era that was like big content drops and a little break, but the content was so good that it still kept you playing over and over and over and over again without an actual weekly hook. This what's happening with this new update reminds me of that, and I feel it's like at the very least what they're adding is so significant that it leaves Destiny 2 currently as a great legacy product now, and that's good. And I'm hoping that everyone, like what you were mentioning, everyone logs in for the ninth, and like with the little content they're gonna parse out in the weeks after, to kind of show that when the content is there, there's fervor. And I'm hoping that that's kind of like what this does to prove to Bungie. Is like, yeah, there is an audience here. Just don't correlate everything. Understand the context of everything. Don't just
Yeah.
be so short-sighted. And that's been the problem, that I feel like they're so short-sighted in the, no, we're gonna back Marathon because look how great the reviews are. Look how much they're like, how much the people that really like it really, really, really like it. We want to grow that thing, instead of be like, yes, but your other game that it's in its worst content drought right now is still outperforming it. What does that tell you? And I do feel that a lot of things, if Marathon proved me something, at the very least, the content delivery pipeline of Destiny should get to like where Marathon is, where they can do things on the fly. I feel like they really built that game like to not suffer the Destiny. Like, we're developing this, and it's gonna take 3 months for this thing to load. Basically, I know that I'm exaggerating, but that's always been a a known problem with Destiny, that like its content demands could never keep up with how bad their tech was to be able to develop this content. And but when the content's there, people show up because Destiny is so good. It's one of
Yeah.
the greatest games ever that you
Yep.
also hate, and you hate for loving. So it's
Yep.
like, but it's like, I'm hoping it's like, ironically, it's so funny. Like this entire year, everyone was bitching about the game, that game, and all of that, and now when it's like the threat of death is finally here, I've never seen the game be more loved, ever.
Well,
It
that's the
really goes
thing
to
too. You
show,
don't know
yeah,
how much you love something until it's gone,
until it's
right?
gone.
And the same like I haven't been totally invested post Final Shape, and this has really woken me up, and I think it woke a lot of people up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said about the content drought, and like this last year hasn't been great. I will add that Sony has like taken people off Destiny, put it on Marathon. A lot of senior people have been taken off Destiny, put on Marathon. Now, it's not against their will. Obviously, these developers wanted to try something new.
They spun
And
out people out to make another team, like within PlayStation 2. So they took people
yeah,
out
like
of
Team
Bungie.
LFG
Yeah.
is over
Mhm.
here, and so there is a manpower discrepancy as well. It's not just Bungie made a big mistake, although like obviously
Mhm.
they're not completely innocent
Blameless.
of
Mhm.
the decisions that happened in the last year. But yeah, we'll keep tabs on the Civil War. I hope
Mhm.
what the outcome is that and I suspect too a lot of the stuff that Aztec Ross was saying and some other people are saying that it's mostly uh jokey ish. I don't think any of them hate Marathon. In fact, I actually know that a lot of them like Marathon, and they'll probably be playing in season 2 as well. But they are going to do whatever they can to help save Destiny, even if it's just like a Hail Mary.
Mhm.
And I'd be willing to take a Hail Mary too.
Yeah.
But I'll see you guys in the tower on June 9th. It's free to play in
Mhm.
general. This new content patch is free as well. So no
Mhm.
excuses. Everybody download their 100 billion gig of Destiny 2 and get logged in. Now,
153. I just last checked because
yes.
I haven't installed
So
again.
yeah, so let's jump into the meat and potatoes of this episode because we're already running a little bit long. We're going to be doing predictions for the three major showcases: Sony, Summer Games Fest, and Xbox. We're going to be doing it in kind of a fun way, though. I have a list of basically yes or no questions. Uh, related to each showcase. Each question is going to be worth 1 point if you get it right, or
Hmm.
negative 1 point if you get it wrong. And you'll have a opportunity for each question to add additional context, either naming the game or whatever. It will make sense when we get there for a bonus 2 points. But if you get that part wrong, negative 2 points.
Hmm.
And then next week, sometime or after the showcases, when we get back together, we'll see who has the most points. So
Hmm.
I let you go first, and
Yeah.
we'll start with Sony. So what
Hmm.
we're going to do for Sony to start is just going to go through the first party. I think that the first party presence is the most important part of a first party showcase, whether it be
Hmm.
Nintendo, Xbox, or Sony. So we're just going to run the gamut here for the first party developers at Sony. You're going to tell me if they're going to be there or not, and you can tell me what game they'll be there for if you want
Hmm.
for bonus
Yeah.
points. So let's start with Naughty Dog.
I would say, based on the fact that they recently crunched for a deadline just a few months ago, I would say yes. because it's like, why would you crunch for a deadline if you were not ready to show, unless you're like so behind on things. And I'd say it's intergalactic. Obviously, it's intergalactic. That's going to
Yeah.
be there. Uh, Now I know there's been rumors, especially because Lost Legacy's director Sean Escape posted on Instagram. I'm doing research, and he posted himself in Portugal, like taking a picture of a cannon. Why would you do research for if that's not Uncharted related? Could Uncharted
Uh,
finally be back? I know, like Sony just 2 years ago listed Uncharted as an active franchise, which I found the most insane thing to say, while considering that I had not released anything Uncharted related beyond Legacy of Thieves. Maybe that could be there, but I'm just gonna say Intergalactic because it's their most recently announced thing, and it's the one that we're finally due to finally see. We saw it in December 2024. We went an entire year hearing nothing from that. We heard Neil Druckmann literally quit show running Last of Us season 2 because he needed to go back to direct games, because obviously this entire generation has been reputational damaging for Naughty Dog, the studio that used to give you quality and quantity of output at the same time. Like the quality hasn't left, but the quantity has like more than dried up, and I feel like it's the time now, because it's just enough time. Like usually they don't reveal a game without giving you gameplay like shortly thereafter. Like that the last time they did that was with Last of Us Part 2, original reveal in PSX 2016, then Paris Games Week second trailer showing Abby, and then the next showing after was when they showed us the gameplay.
yeah.
I feel we're due to see it again, so I would say yes. Naughty Dog
Yeah.
with Intergalactic.
So I didn't know about the Uncharted stuff. That's
Mhm.
incredible. I just super quick tangent. I've been playing Uncharted 4 just to, because
So good. It's so good.
we'll get to. Okay, I'm just gonna do a speed run here. I don't even know if we're
Uh,
gonna talk about what we're playing. I played 007. It's very good. I bought it on
uh,
Xbox Digital. I realized that I want to play this on my TV. I'm going to be playing this on my console because playing PC games on TV is kind of annoying. And this
mhm.
game is so good, and I want to own it on a disc. So I actually refunded it on Xbox, and I'm buying it physical on PlayStation. I
Yeah,
know that's
it's
gonna
really good
piss
on Pro. It's
Wally.
really good on Pro.
I know it is. Wally, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. You're probably so mad right now, but I needed to own this on disc. It has to be on my shelf. That's how good the game is.
Yeah.
So in the interim, because I haven't got to the story yet to pick it up, I've been playing Uncharted 4, and I got, oh my god, do I love this franchise so freaking much. Uncharted is so good. So if they make a new Uncharted, that would be something, or if not, I know they'll probably make one at some point, but if they show Uncharted in some way at this um showcase, and it's more than just a JPEG,
Hmm.
it will be hard for anything to beat that. There's only like two or three things that could possibly
Hmm.
happen that could beat that for me. But I am going to say Naughty Dog is there as well. I am going to say it's Intergalactic.
Hmm.
So far, no matter what, we're tied.
Yeah.
Next up is Gorilla.
They have Hunter's Gathering, which recently wrapped up their closed test. That people that played it can't say anything. I played it. I played both tests. I'm on the eight to say anything. They have not shown up at any state of play yet. In fact, they revealed Hunter's Gathering before the last state of play. So I feel they're being here, because my thing is that we're gonna talk about another studio that's showing up. Is like, if you're showing up and that's a service game, why would it? Because obviously we recently heard a new patent. Is like, wouldn't you also want to be here in your big state of play that you're bringing people over to your theater to show? So I'm like, I'm gonna say they're gonna be there for Hunter's Gathering. Even like, I wish I could talk more about like the state of that thing. DM me. I can talk to you in private about
Yeah,
it. So
I
yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Yeah,
and Hunter's Gathering.
Hunter's Gathering, Horizon. Yeah.
Yes. I'm torn because my gut. I haven't played it for the audience to know.
Hmm.
I did sign up. I might have got it. And I actually didn't even check my email.
Yeah. So the fact
That
that you didn't play, you can speak freely. I did.
Yeah. So my gut feeling for why they didn't put it as part of the state of play is because it wasn't ready for prime time. It was just a very early thing. They needed to get people to
Hmm.
try it, like actual players to try it, and they can't just like tell you to sign up without telling you what the game is. Like they have to
Hmm.
like at least tell you what you're in for. Um, but that was a year ago. There has to have been something. Gorilla's like a flagship team. I feel
That
like,
was February when they announced it. So that was 3 months ago.
oh, for some reason I thought it was last year.
Yeah, it feels this year's been too long already. But yeah, it was announced in February.
Uh, I'm actually I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna say no, they won't be there.
Yeah.
I feel like if they are gonna if they weren't gonna show it when it was revealed, I don't think they're gonna show it at a state of play until it's like fully cooked and like
Mhm.
approaching release, so they can. Because I think they obviously aren't blind to the feedback that a lot of people have had, and I think that they're probably improving it as time goes on. I know there's been multiple tests.
Without breaking NDAs and all of that, like when they mentioned that they wanted to finally really test things like early, they're serious and they're really like absorbing a lot of feedback and being very receptive for the people that go in. So that's
Yes.
something to consider now, like consider compared to how they used to operate. So, but that's all I can say. So,
Yes. So I think that they will want to show it again and try to change people's minds, and they
mhm.
won't be able to do that until it's like more cooked. Not that
Yeah.
I even know how cooked it is right now, and I'm
Mhm.
saying cooked as in like the
Yeah,
good
how
way,
ready is it? Yeah,
good way.
yeah,
Yeah, not bad.
yeah.
All
But that's the
right.
thing. Like perceptually, that game's cooked right now because it's so against what people want out of that franchise. So it's like
Yeah.
it's got a boulder to push. So
Next up, Santa Monica.
yes,
Yes. Okay. And what game?
in Nate the Hate, I trust. This is Cory Barlog's game, and we know that is a God of War spinoff. As much as it breaks my heart knowing that this is what Cory Barlog's been working for the last 8 years,
Are you
when
sure that's
it
his game?
supposedly like,
I
and
don't
he
know. That's
kind of
not what
hit,
I heard.
yeah. So that because the thing is that people correlated that's his game after the Nate the Hate leaked it, and Corey over on Blue Sky co-signed the whole thing about he wants more fake leaks to fuck leakers over, basically. That's basically like, why would he come out of the woodworks to be like, yes, like let's fuck leakers if that wasn't his thing? So that's like that's the that's basically telling without telling, and of course he also come out of the woodworks and be like, I'm excited to watch the state of play. And he didn't say that the last time, the last state of play. That had God of War stuff, by the way, because that's where we got the remake announcement on Sons of Sparta. So he tends to like come to the social medias to address cheekily anything when he's about to show something. He did the same with Ragnarok, even though he wasn't directing it, but he was like, I wonder what's in the state of play. Then that I remember when that happened in the lead up to Ragnarok. So it's like it's no coincidence when they try to like slowly walk out of the bush and be like, "I'm alive here."
So
It's yeah, so
I I mean, I don't know, no, like I don't
mhm,
have contacts there, but I am from what I have heard, there's 3 games in development at Sony Santa Monica.
mhm. The
There's
God of War
this
remake. Mhm,
there's this Faye project, there's the God of War remake, and then there's Corey's project, which is a new IP.
mhm,
I know that Trier has described this Faye game as being so different that's a new IP, but
mhm,
I guarantee you from a marketing perspective, it's going to have the words God of War in the title, so it's not a new
mhm.
IP.
Yeah.
And Corey Barlog's thing has always been described as a new IP.
Mhm,
I think it's interesting that the Faye stuff is what's being leaked and talked about.
mhm.
That tells me that it's probably of the 3 games, it's probably the closest
Yeah.
one to being.
How Schreier described it, because a lot of people were thinking that Sony Santa Monica was making a space game just based on like out of nowhere, and the fact that they worked on a space game that got canceled. It was like the game that put like
Yeah.
Santa Monica on the ropes before like God of War 2018. Like if God of War 2018 didn't hit, it was gonna close that studio for good. So and a lot of people remember that Corey in 2020 when he announced that Eric Williams, like he when he tweeted at Eric Williams, remember his name, that he literally just said that's around the time when it was decided that Eric Williams was going to be the director of Ragnarok instead of him. He posted a picture of a satellite. So everyone was like, "Oh, he's why would he put a picture of a satellite? He's probably doing that space game again." And then Schreier came and be like, "I don't know where that whole space game thing came out. The only thing I'll say is that he's not working on a new IP, but what he's working is gonna feel like one." And with the rumors coming from Nate DeHay that apparently this Faye game is supposed to be a Devil May Cry style action game, that's like I can understand where that would be like. Yeah, it's like it's similar. It's not a new IP, but it's so different from what was there that it could be one. That's why a lot of people put two and two together. So
Okay,
that's
maybe
yeah.
my wires got crossed then, because the way I
Mhm,
interpreted the stuff that I read was that
mhm,
there is God of War Faye, which will feel like a new IP, but it's not, and then Corey's making a new IP.
yeah.
That's my understanding of it. Maybe I'm incorrect. I
Mhm,
I don't want to put this. I will say yes, they'll be there. Yes, it's God of War Faye.
mhm,
Um, pending title. I will never think it's a good idea to take a beloved franchise that has a very iconic main character who's been the lead of
Mhm.
every game and then make a new entry into that franchise and then make the lead somebody else. I think that's a horrible idea. I don't
Mhm.
know of any situation where that's worked.
Mhm.
Even games that are
Halo, Halo
beloved, like
tried Halo tried doing that. It didn't go well. Remember?
Metal Gear 2,
Yeah.
every like
It,
that aged better,
everyone
but
hated it. Yeah,
everybody
age better.
hated it at
Everybody
first.
hated that.
Yeah,
So.
and that was like, I mean, yeah, there was like Nintendo NES Metal Gear, but Snake didn't become Snake until Metal Gear Solid. So that's
Mhm.
only one game removed. We're talking about what, 5, 6 God of War game. Well, no,
Mhm.
PSP has 2, 3 on
Mhm.
PS3 or 4
Four
on
on PS3
PS3. Well,
and
2
two
on
on PS.
PS2, 2 on
Uh,
PS3, 2 on Vita, 2
uh,
on PS4 and 5.
mhm.
So the 8 games of Kratos, and now we're going to change it. I think that's a horrible idea. But um, from my perspective, Santa Monica's never made a bad game, so I'm going to be
Yeah.
excited probably. But
Even
yeah,
even even Ascension, that was their weakest God of War, like
I thought it was
critically,
great. It
it's
wasn't the
still a
best,
really
but
good
I thought it
game.
was good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's aged better now that like when people are like, "Oh, this wasn't bad," we were just tired of it, and that's kind of like what happens when you go back to something after you were tired. You
yeah,
realize how good it actually was when you've actually taken a break and you don't get it anymore.
yeah.
So I'm still like I still personally am like I was excited at the idea that he was doing something new because Santa Monica, the last time they attempted something new, it didn't go well, and it was so sad because it's like I like when studios are able to like have their flagship but able to branch out and also have some and do something new because we need new IP. Just as we always need our series to always be there, we need new IP to kind of be a refreshing thing because that can be refreshing to a studio where it's like they can go back to the try and true, but also to like flex their creative muscle to something new. Is what made the Uncharted to Last of Us thing when it happened was so nice for Naughty Dog because it's like you did the happy or lucky action bit, and now you did a survival horror like series thing, and you're able to do it. That's
I
awesome.
mean, it goes back
Yeah.
further
So.
than that too. It's more like
Mhm.
Crash to Jax to
Mhm.
Uncharted to Last of Us. Then you have Sly to Infamous to
Infamous.
Ghost of Tsushima. You
Mhm.
have Killzone
Kill
to Horizon. Like
Horizon.
it's been
Mhm.
their bread and butter was letting these talented teams experiment and try new
Yeah.
things. So I
And
would
Santa
much,
Monica is the only one that have not been able to do like another franchise. The only thing is that they were able to change it so much it might as well feel new, going from
yeah,
like character action based game to like over the shoulder adventure. So
yeah.
it's like they deserve like I feel that's such a talented studio that I think could really like do something new. But as far as we know so far, it seems like they're doubling down on God of War. That's sad, but I like God of War too. So it's like a bittersweet. That's sad, but I'll still take more because those
Yeah.
games are
Oh,
so
I'm
good.
right.
So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm
yeah.
right with you.
So
Next
yeah,
up,
Santa Monica, yes.
Sucker Punch.
No. Why?
No,
Because they just went.
no
They just went.
DLC.
I mean, what's
Anything
funny is that
counts.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like that theoretically could count because Jote was last year, and Iki Island was like announced and released the year after Tsushima. Because they just put out the multiplayer stuff and they just ended like they just basically were like we put out the raid and that's our content. That's the end. That's multiplayer mode. It's there to exist. Go play it. It seems too soon. I could imagine for later in the year they could. I'll be a no for this to have a no
I'm
for a
also a
person that
no.
spies it. Mhm.
What about Bungie next?
I think they will be there to show a trailer, another trailer for season 2 of Marathon, especially with the because when is season 2 starting?
The same
Is
day.
it the same day?
Yeah.
So I can imagine that's gonna be because like it's their big marketing beat where they're gonna be like people that usually don't tune in to the day to day news. They show up to this to the state of plays.
Yep.
So they're gonna be there to show Marathon season 2, like for
I
sure.
I agree.
And they're gonna be like free to play weekend. Come play this thing.
Yep.
So there's like I feel that's like a and especially they're serious about wanting to gain more players. That's like your big megaphone moment. So they're gonna show up for that. So
Polyphony.
nope.
No. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Bend.
Nope. They canceled their live service and they put out a remaster uh for Days Gone. Like shortly after is like if they're like in trying to work on they don't really have anything from what I understand. So I doubt they're
Uncharted?
gonna be there.
Remember there was rumors of Uncharted
Yes,
there.
yeah. When that's kind of funny that
Golden
they were
Abyss
considered.
remastered?
Man, that would be funny, and that would be like a thing. If that's the thing. Like, I'm surprised they're still in business. Like, I'm still surprised that Bend is still one
It's
of
their
those that
old
they haven't closed.
studio.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's your only like one of the few in such a weird space in Oregon. So it's like it's a small studio, so it's probably what's helping. But I mean, Blue Point was small too, and that didn't help, and they couldn't keep the lights on there. So
Yeah.
um, it's sad because Days Gone. It's not a fully great game, but that game was very good.
I think it's a fully great game.
You
I
feel it's
think
really great.
I would absolutely give that like an 8.5. I love Days
Uh,
Gone. It deserved
yeah,
better.
I played the launch era. I see it was being patched. As
I
I kept
played
playing
it
it. So
after the patches on a
yes,
pro, and then
uh-huh.
I also played it on PS5. Like it was like
The
right
PS5
next.
version is really great. The
Yeah.
PS5 version is like what they done. It's like it runs super great. Like the weather system looks beautiful. There's a lot of talent there within band. They always like since Siphon Filter and Uncharted Golden
Sure.
Abyss on Biggie that was
I
good.
played it on the PS4 version on PS5 where it was running at
Uh-huh.
60 FPS. I never played the remaster. Is there a
Yeah.
new trophy set?
Yes.
Okay, you can convince me. I said no for Polyphony, no for Bend as well. What about Haven?
Yes, because of break-in. The recent new patent that was filed in French. Haven is in Montreal or Quebec, wherever it is. That's there in Canada. That's like where the French are in Canada. So
Yeah. I don't know
it
if it's in.
feels.
I think it's in Quebec City, but it is in. It
Mhm,
is in Quebec.
mhm,
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I don't know if it's going to be called break in. I think it could be like a
mhm.
mode or something. I don't know, but or like a
I
marketing
feel
thing.
it. Yeah, I
But
feel they're
yeah,
probably trying to like. Fair Games is such a tarnished name at this point because of the all the bad association with when it was revealed at the final PlayStation showcase that was called a showcase, it looking like people call it Ubisoft slop. You know, like it just didn't have a great showing, and it didn't even show what the game was. And all we've heard of Fair Games is that Jade Raymond once again swindled another team and left the studio without putting out a game. And apparently the playtests have been bad. The people have played it have been kind of broken in data to be like, what we play is not good. And rumors are we are like that what it was supposed to be, which was an extraction shooter, has gotten reworked. And I'm like, why does Sony? As a side tangent, this is the modern Sony problem. Let's just do a million different versions of the same game at once and see what sticks. It's like what a horrible like. How did no one be like, dude, it's Bungie, like we're quite bright. They're doing an extraction shooter. Why are you doing one? It's like it seems like they like doing one and hoping that they're doing this one thing and one of them's gonna be the poop that sticks in the wall. Basically, that's kind of how it feels. But they're changing
hey,
the name. They're probably rebranding.
Days
So
Gone didn't have zombies like The Last of Us. Okay, it had
they were
freakers.
freakers,
Yeah,
and it was an open world, whereas The Last of Us was a linear game. So you could kind of like be like put separations
Days Gone's great. Go
there.
play Days Gone.
It is. It
Insomniac. I'm
is.
just gonna put yes for both of us. Wolverine.
Yes.
They've said that.
Yeah, that is the headline that's opening that state of play. They're literally saying this state of play is opening with Wolverine, and that's the promise. We were showing it in the spring. We're still in the spring technically, or I think has summer officially
No,
started.
no, they literally said in the the announcement of the state of play that Wolverine will open the show.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, so it will
and
get it.
last year when they unveiled it again at a state of they said we're showing it officially fully during the spring of 2016, 2026. So
Yeah.
that's them delivering on the timing when it said so. This is the known quantity, so
For a
we're getting
bonus
it out of the
point, do
way.
you think they'll show Venom?
If PS6 is supposed to be next year, maybe, but there's weird stuff happening with Venom, like the actor of Miles Morales saying, "Oh yeah, that got canceled because Tony Todd died," and then Schreier be like, "That's not true." So he's like, "Who's the truth now?" And it's like, it'd be interesting. I mean, they're a Marvel machine at this point, so I don't know if they like Wolverine. This was a game that was supposed to be out 2 years ago, based on like when it was remember it was unveiled in 2021. It changed directors. The whole thing leaked in the Insomniac
Yeah.
leak. So it's like there has been like a shockingly tortured development for Insomniac that has been like putting out like consistent bank like putting out product constantly and great. But
I
they
think
probably don't want all eyes in this before Venom. So
yeah,
and
I
rumor
don't
is that it's supposed to be a PS6 game. I don't know if they want to talk PS6 right now. So
yeah.
so
I don't think Venom will be there. I do think Wolverine will be there obviously. What about Team LFG?
I would say if they're still doing like if they're still willing to show up with live service, I mean they have marathon stuff. They're gonna show break in maybe as a if we're showing all of them that we kind of have cooking, maybe yes, because like why then make a big deal about TMLFG that
Well,
you
it's
took
yes
their
or no. You
Gummiverse?
get to pick yes or no.
I'll say yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what are you gonna put a game?
Gummiverse.
Okay.
Like as far as we know, we don't know what name it is and all that. But that's
The
their
funny thing is
Gummiverse
they could
project.
show literally anything, even if it's not that, and it's
Uh-huh.
like that code name is gummy, so you wouldn't know, but I'll put it there. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that they will not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Media Molecule.
Before before last week, I would say no to this. MP First has reported that apparently they're working on like a more gamey game that's gonna be like open world. It's gonna have some creative stuff. The fact that they found that out, I'm like, the timing is peculiar. I'll say yes.
Okay.
What and also they're due. They're the only studio this entire generation that has not said anything. They
Fire
put out
Sprite.
Dreams. Yeah. Fire Sprite, the rumors that they're working on Until Dawn 2. I'm gonna say no. Because I don't know like where like the whole Until Dawn thing is kind of like landing at this point. So
I won't put a title down for Media
mhm.
Molecule because
Yeah,
we
we don't
don't
know
know.
what it is. Yeah, it's like it would be just as we didn't know Dreams was gonna be Dreams when it
But
was announced.
yeah,
Isn't
just a recap here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 first party things showing
yes,
up,
mhm.
which I
Yeah,
think would probably be a record for Sony.
yeah.
I
They
have
haven't
5.
not many since June 2020, which was the last time they put out that much like
Yeah.
announced that
So
much.
now
So
yeah. So I have 5. Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, Bungie, Haven, Insomniac. You have Naughty Dog, Gorilla, Santa Monica, Bungie, Haven, Team LFG, Insomniac, and Media Molecule.
mhm,
So now for the rest of the Sony showcase, these are just miscellaneous questions, like
mhm.
basically yes or no, true or false. You can add some additional context for bonus points if you want. So do you think they will mention the PC at all?
Yeah,
PC port, something to do
I
with
feel like
PC.
since they made it clear live service is the things that staying PC PS5. I'll say yes. I mean marathon like if they talk season 2 marathon, that's a PC PS5 game. Like I think that kind of is. And
Okay.
sometimes like third party stuff that they show in their state of plays, which there's many of those, also come like with PC logos too. So I would say
Okay.
yes. But that'll be it. It's kind of like it's just me. The things that are gonna be that have to be on PC are gonna be there. But I feel it's gonna be similar to how it was in the last state of play. You had a mix of both. So
Yeah, I agree that at least Marathon will be there and
mhm.
Marathon will be on PC. So that technically counts. Now, this will be a recurring question for every
Yeah.
showcase, but will Kojima be there?
I feel no because it's
Okay.
OD's time.
All right.
So and that's Xbox stuff. I know that Pheasant, which is like his next big project, which is gonna be like his Metal Gear like project, is just still too early in development. I don't feel that's supposed to be here. Even though he said that he was gonna start development immediately on this project after he was done with Death Stranding 2, and obviously the PC version of Death Stranding 2 already happened earlier this year. So now is the time, but I do feel that OD is still the thing that they're. I mean, we saw him hanging out with Asha and Matt Booty, so it's like it's very clear that he will probably still deliver that project to them. Will it be multi-platform? I believe it could be, like based on like where things are. So I feel that right now there'd be like he was with old wife Sony for Death Stranding 2. They gave him the limelight. He had his own solo showcase for Death Stranding 2 at Summer Game Fest at the Orpheum Theater that I got to go, which was really cool. So it's like he got like his flowers and he got uh like the big flower treatment back at Summer Game Fest. If he shows up with anything, it's not gonna be here, I would say. So there's
If
other places he can show later this week.
I also said no, do you think there'll be a China Hero Project title shown?
I feel they always show one of these, so I think yes.
Do you want to
That
guess
is like
one?
maybe a new one because I cannot think of one that like I think pretty much almost every China Hero project that they previously shown it's out currently. Um, because I
Phantom
know they
Blade
have
Zero.
other. Yeah, that's probably they could because like they probably want to remember people that's coming out. That's one of their exclusives for this year. That's on September 9th. So they love re-showing games. So as a kind of reminder, I'll say yes because you remember it's Phantom Blade Zero. So
I said yes, Phantom Blade Zero. Are you saying Phantom Blade Zero or are you saying new IP?
let's do a new IP because it feels like it's time. because
Okay.
that's literally what's feeding them.
You could
Literally.
honestly get both.
Mhm.
What about hardware?
Hardware, I think there is with where there is smoke, there's fire. We probably will hear about that OLED portal. I'll say yes. And there's
Oh,
always hardware in their stuff. Remember the monitor?
yep.
Remember the portal? Like they always like showing some piece of the hardware. So
Speakers. I put it. Yes, I put a controller. I'm thinking Wolverine
yeah,
might have a controller. Um, I'm thinking OLED's probably a better answer, but I won't change it. Do you think there'll be a something shown from Sony Pictures, like a movie project or a TV show trailer of some kind?
their last showcase from 2023 had a Gran Turismo trailer, so there is precedent. Spider-Man Brand New Day is in July. They love showcasing Spider-Man. I'll say yes. They'll probably do something Spider-Man related. So
Did you want to use Spider-Man as your con?
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, because there's nothing else from Sony Pictures I can think of. So, like of that gravitas. And last time it was Gran Turismo. And obviously, Gran Turismo is a Sony IP. So,
I think there's a new season of Twisted Metal coming, but I am going to say no.
mhm.
You
Yeah,
think
they
there'll
have
be a,
not showed. Yeah, Twisted Metal has never showed on any Sony stuff. It's shown up at Jeff's stuff, ironically. So,
do you think there'll be a remaster?
there's always one. Like one had like the Soul Reaver, the Soul Reaver remasters. Like Aspire always shows up with like a remaster, so I will say yes. I mean, Deus Ex, OG was also one of those state of play, so I'll say yes.
Do you want to guess a game or leave it blank?
I'll leave it blank.
All right. I am going to also say yes and leave it blank because there's so many possibilities. Will
Mhm.
Xbox be there in some way? Will they have an Xbox game shown?
I'll say no.
I also agree. No. Um, will there be a Final Fantasy reveal?
There's conflicting reports. Some people swear and say that they heard it that apparently Sony helped fund the final part of like as a final push to get the part three that is clearly done and all that because they keep talking about it without revealing it. I feel Square Enix has made their intentions so clear about like their whole multi-platform push and all that that I don't think they will want to model that message. And Summer Game Fest is there, and Rebirth had its big blowout reveal at Summer Game Fest before then showing more at State of Play. So if they want to have like a big stage, unless Sony really pointed up the money, I'm gonna say no. So
Okay. Will GTA be there?
GTA 5 showed up in a few showcases, ironically. So there is no like there's precedent, even though Rockstar doesn't need it. And also, GTA 5 showed up at a E3 conference for Sony in 2014 when they announced the PS4 version. They showed up there. So I know they're making a big deal. Strauss Zelnick was making a big deal that they had marketing deal with Sony for this thing, and they keep showing. And Sony apparently keeps showing GTA to their investors when they showed like their 2026 lineup. They're treating it like an exclusive. I'll say no. I feel like GTA right now is still waiting for its big solo like big pop, and I don't think they're gonna have it like in the middle of everything. So
What about VR?
nope,
No.
that's a big fat no.
I agree, sadly. Do you think there'll be a shadow drop?
The last State of Play gave us their first ever shadow drop, and they used to do shadow drops before. Like Entwined wasn't a shadow drop at E3 2014. Um, since I've been going no, I'll say yes. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a demo. Maybe it's like a play something. You know what? I'm gonna put my bet on.
What?
Break in, new reveal. Play it now. As a try it now. Because they will want to be like, everyone will be skeptical and they're probably going to be like, play it now, try it. So like, before you let us, so I'm going to be like, the shadow drop is like a test for break in.
Yeah.
So
Good luck.
they gotta know. I know. It's like, but they gotta, if they're still insisting that this thing is still alive, like, that's like the only way. So that's going to be the shadow drop. Play it now. Because that's the thing, like, that tied like Apex Legends had it right. If they were announced that thing and waited 3 or 4 weeks to put it out, the whole Titanfall battle royale, what the crap? What a garbage idea! But the fact that that was like announced and you can play this right now, it didn't let any bad press happen. It's kind of like why it's insane that Highguard didn't like considering it was from the same developers. They got swindled into showing up at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Um,
That definitely didn't help them. But I
Yeah,
also
like
think that Apex had a pretty big advantage of it being an absolutely incredible game on top of
yeah,
it being
yeah.
a
The
show
high
as
ground
well.
was just good. Yeah, and
Yeah.
high ground was only good.
Do you
So
think they will mention Destiny at all?
nope. I feel yeah, I feel that's especially with where things are. It's like that's such an open world. Like you're gonna see a lot of make a Destiny 3 hashtag or like give us Destiny 3 hashtag in the chat. If you go to YouTube, there's gonna be a lot of people are gonna be spamming it. So
If it's
it's like
if it's a live audience, I think somebody might mention
screaming.
dedicated to my favorite rabbi, Destiny.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
do you think there'll be a new game revealed that's launching this year? Like
um
a world premiere game that we didn't know about, shown
yeah,
and coming this year.
similar to what Kina 2 was in the last state of play. That it was like a new reveal that's for this year. Uh we're in the time, I think so. Yeah, so I'll say yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes as well. Leave it blank.
Hmm.
Bonus round. So this is the bookends.
Hmm.
If you can get any of the bookends correct, that's going to be worth 2 points. If you get them both correct, it's 5 points.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. This one's a little bit cheating because they already
Hmm.
said it's going to open with Wolverine. So I'm gonna say Wolverine plus.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say God of War. Faye.
Hmm. So that both of them are gonna be there.
Well,
So
it's gonna be
like
the
or
bookend. So
the bookend.
bookend.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah. One
first and the
starts on yeah.
last.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's obviously starting with Wolverine, and I would say like the probably gameplay of Intergalactic would be the closer, probably. So I'm gonna put it there because like I feel that's a Naughty Dog tends to close unless they open. The fact that Wolverine is opening means that they're gonna give that
You know
to
what? I'm not going to change anything, but I actually think it would be kind of unlikely for them to show God of War. Like whatever Sony Santa Monica is doing and whatnot, I think it's unlikely they're both at the same one.
yeah.
Um,
And supposedly because it's from like the leakers understanding, it's like this is supposed to be slated for 27 because Santa Monica would be like 5 years since its last project. So
yeah.
we're basically this state of play is basically for us learning what's coming next year at this point because Wolverine was the from everything we learned from last year is going to be the end for their first party lineup for
Yeah.
this year. So that's why
I
like I feel they could because they could be like we're making a big deal out of this. This is what's coming up for next year. So
I think yeah, honestly they could show both too because they could be in a situation where this is just how the cards lay or fell
mhm,
because I don't think they anticipated Naughty Dog going
mhm,
7 years without a title. I think 5
yeah,
years for Santa Monica was probably the original plan. Um,
it's
7
a
for Naughty
throwback.
Dog
And
is probably
it's a
not.
throwback to E3 2009 and E3 2012, where we have both Naughty Dog and Santa Monica together. 2009 was Uncharted 2 and God of War 3, and 2012 was Last of Us and God of War Ascension. So they've shown up before at big
Yeah,
events together. So and the cards and kind of like the cards have laid out where it feels like it's right for both of those games to be there. So
cool. So,
mhm.
okay, so that's it for Sony. Well, Summer Games Fest will be a lot faster. There's no first party to go through, so this is just going to be
Mhm.
another 10 random questions. Do you think there'll be a movie trailer?
Yes, I
You
just don't
want?
know which one, but I think there will be there.
Do you want to? Do you
He
want to
loves putting
guess?
a movie trailer. What again? Like he could show up with something with Doomsday or Dune. Like
I
he
don't
has
think there's
had
going
Tim.
to be
Yeah,
an. Well, I mean, you can think whatever you want. I'll let you guess one.
yeah.
I don't need to help
Uh,
you.
yeah, he's worked with the Russos before. He could have that like a tie-in with like the Marvel stuff there. So, but I will say yes, but no, I'm not gonna guess. So I just know what there's always been a movie trailer. Son.
I'm saying yes.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I think could show is like some like special look at Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That is true because Street Fighter is still not out.
yeah,
Mortal Kombat already came out, and
and there's a new
Jeff had
season of
them.
Street. I'm gonna put that actually. There's a new season of the game coming out.
Hmm. Yes, I think it's the final season or something like that, or like the
Yeah,
last update I was reading.
got to
And
risk it for the biscuit.
yes, I'll join you with Street Fighter because like Street Fighter showed up at the Game Awards and he likes doubling down if he's shown something before. As is, we're talking movie, so that's like the only
Ooh,
one. Like
where's Kojima?
not here.
Okay,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
GTA.
Nope.
I'm gonna say yes. I think the Game Awards is or the Summer Games Fest is where it shows up. I think that the PlayStation marketing is probably going to kick in a different way.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about Final Fantasy?
Yes, just based on precedent. Rebirth was there in 2023. So
I am gonna put. Yeah, I'm not gonna put that. I was gonna say gameplay trailer for GTA, but if
mhm.
they're wrong, I don't want to lose 3 points. I'll lose 1 point.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy. You said part 3.
yeah, part three.
I agree. You think they'll show any hardware?
Well, it's not the time, so no. And I know, like, with Jeff revealed the Series X, so, but it's like if you just based on where the time is, so I would
Yeah,
say
the
no.
Game Awards is way bigger than Summer Games Fest.
Mm.
So I also don't think there's going to be anything here. Do you think there'll be a new game revealed to be coming into early access?
It happens so often that I'll say yes. So I
Yeah, I'll
think
say
there was
yes
one.
too. It's
Mhm.
probably going to be some indie game on PC that we don't know
Mhm.
about yet. Do you think Nintendo will have any presence? No.
Nope.
I think they have to have a direct cooking.
Hmm. Nintendo has mostly ignored Jeff's stuff. It feels like, and if they show up, it's just with a commercial. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, nope.
Half-Life 3 or Bloodborne?
The big question is, where's Dust Bloods? That's supposed to be this year, and
It's at
like
the Nintendo Direct. When they do the
uh,
Nintendo Direct, by the way, you'll know they're
uh,
doing it like a couple hours before. They're
uh,
so pissed off at the leaks that they're just messing with them now.
mhm.
Um,
I'll say no. Obviously, like this is always like the hopium. It's sad that Destiny 3 now adds to that list. So
I'm gonna say yes.
okay.
This is only gonna cost me 1 point. Um, but the reason why I'm saying yes is because I read a report that said that part 3 of Final Fantasy was pitched to Jeff as the closer, and he
Hmm.
said no because there's
Oh,
something
because
bigger.
bigger. Hmm.
And
Yeah, yeah, that was in in the gaming leaks and Reddit. I
yeah,
read it. I read
and
it
there's
too.
not a
So.
lot of things bigger than part 3 of
Mhm.
FF7.
And he
Um,
closed with Rebirth. If you remember, 2023 closed. That was the
yes.
final trailer he showed.
And
So.
so and there's a lot of rumors forever, but they heated up big time with the Steam machine that Half-Life 3 is coming.
Hmm. And everyone's been thinking is like the reason why they haven't held is because they understand that you launch that machine as with Half Life 3 as your exclusive. Is like that's gonna by itself move itself, so it makes sense.
And he
Everything
has a
else is
great
happening with the Steam.
relationship with Valve.
Yeah,
So I'll just
he's
chuck the 1 point in the
he
garbage.
gave away Steam decks. If you remember, during one of the Game Awards, every hour.
Yeah.
So that's the kind
Those
of
things are worth
relationship
a
they have
lot
together.
more if you won one. They're worth a lot
Yeah,
more now. Do you
and
think there'll be
if you earned it for free, imagine how much like you could like sell it at the market and make insane profits now.
yeah. Do you think there'll be a world premiere that has a 2026 release date?
No, I think yeah, I would say no. I think
Okay.
yeah, he tends to give release dates for previously announced stuff, and what he announces is always for early next year. So just based on trends.
I'm saying yes.
Mhm.
I'm not going to put a game down because I don't know
Mhm.
what it could possibly be. Celebrity sighting on stage.
There's always one, so yeah, they'll be there.
Do you want to
Last
guess
year
who
it
it
was
is?
last year it was Matt Mikkelsen. The IO guys brought him over there before they went to the IO showcase. I am not gonna guess because I would have never guessed Matt Mikkelsen last year because I was like, why is he here? Like, you guys are doing the Chief, really? Like, almost like 21 years, like almost 19 years after after Casino Royale.
Do you
So,
think there'll be a shadow drop?
yes, it could be a beta, it could be like a test because they've done those. So,
Do you think there'll be a Muppet on stage? I said no for shadow drop, by the way.
yeah, no on Muppets. I feel the Muppets are for
The
our
Game
Game
Awards.
Awards. Yeah. Mhm.
And bonus points. Do you want to guess the bookends? This is like impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible with him. You never
Well,
know like
sorry
what.
for the bookends. Since it's just for fun, there's no points lost. So
Mhm.
you can just throw stuff out there.
Yeah, so maybe you started with part three. So I'll put like Final Fantasy part three. So
and end.
Ah, shit. I feel like we've so ran out of the dream games at this point. Okay, actually, if for some reason, these guys don't show up at State of Play, Intergalactic. He revealed. He revealed Intergalactic. So I'm still of the mind that you don't make a big deal of your State of Play if you're not gonna have your premiere studio there.
That's true.
But it's like I'll throw it out there as a Hail Mary just in case. So,
I'm going with GTA 3 to open, Half-Life 3 to end. That would be
yeah.
nuts. I have
But that'd be
almost
the most
never.
insane. That would be the most insane, like a summer Game Pass. And what's funny is that I don't feel. I don't know if you've noticed. Have you noticed that Jeff has been more gun shy about hyping literally anything now? It
Yeah,
was like the high guard thing really like blew up on his face. So I feel like he's been more low key this year.
yeah, it
So
didn't work out well.
yeah, so
Last thing we have here is
Xbox.
Xbox. So we have a speed round here of the first party presence. Do you think that Bethesda Game Studios will be there? Elder
Um,
Scrolls 6.
man, there's already such black eye over the early reveal of ES6. Obviously, Starfield just went through the second DLC and putting it on PS5. I'm gonna say no. I wonder if like they're gonna get much closer to when ES6 is gonna release to talk about it. So I'm gonna say no. Not
I
with the other
also
one though.
I don't think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be there, but I think Fallout 76 could be there.
That
Uh,
is true. Yeah, that's them. I forget. So it's like they have a big umbrella there. So
I'm gonna say no.
okay.
Even if Fallout 70, I won't even count that. If that
Yeah, the thing is that because I saw you put other individual studios there. Remember, like Machine Games and it are under Bethesda Game Studios, or like Bethesda in
well,
general.
well,
Bethesda. So yeah,
technically that's
Cinemax.
ZeniMax, and Bethesda
Yeah,
Game Studios is the
it's
actual
individual. Mhm.
studio in
Yeah,
uh
we just conflate everything,
Bethesda,
right?
Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah, we just conflate like when Bethesda used to be a publisher too. Like,
Yeah, I did group Activision as one, even though it's like
Mhm.
50 different studios. But what
Yeah,
about Machine Games?
I would say because of recent rumblings, I'd say this is the time for Wolfenstein 3. So I'll say yes.
And you want to guess Wolfenstein 3?
Yes, Wolfenstein 3.
All right.
Now if they come out with Quake. Imagine like a new Quake. That would be wild. But because there was rumors that apparently they were gonna take on Quake, but I don't remember how substantive those. So I'm gonna say Wolfenstein, and maybe it's gonna do Quake. That's our next one.
I'm going to say no. Uh id.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
And do you want to name a game?
Quake
All right. I am going to say yes, and I am going to say Dark Ages DLC.
DLC. Yeah, that's a safe one too. So I get that
Um
one.
I'll fill in Activision,
Yes, we know it's DM.
MW4,
Yeah,
yeah.
MW4 DMC. That like DMC is gonna be
Yeah,
there.
they
So
already said that today.
Mhm.
Halo Studios
I think that's where we get the release date, and we may get it sooner than we think.
of
So
Combat Evolved or Campaign
okay,
Evolved.
campaign evolved. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think might get more than the release date.
Mhm.
Uh,
Do you think they'll talk multiplayer in the next Halo?
I think we might be playing it next week. What about Rare?
Rare. Oh man, especially knowing that they killed Everwild officially, I'm gonna say no. They are they still doing DLC for Sea of Thieves? Remind me. Like that has
Well,
continued, right?
I don't know if they're still going to do more like big expansions like the Pirates of the Caribbean or Monkey Island stuff, but they do still do content updates.
Yeah, I feel like Fallout 76, ESO, and Sea of Thieves are always consistently shown. They're always in that kind of block in the middle. Like, here's the update for this game, so I'm gonna say yes for the Sea of Thieves stuff.
Sea of Thieves
Hmm.
update.
Yeah, I think even last year they briefly popped up. So
I I actually don't know if I'm gonna say yes. Sea of Thieves update. Actually,
Mhm.
they're kind of in like a down period right now. The
Yeah.
sentiment is pretty poor right now for Sea of Thieves, with some both what the game's doing and some off the field stuff. But
Yeah.
what about Obsidian?
Obsidian, man, since they just put out, I would say yes because of there's DLC coming for Outer Worlds too.
So you
So,
want to put Outer Worlds 2 DLC?
yep.
All right, I'm gonna say yes. With a Grounded 2 update,
Yeah, Grounded 2 could go full
1.0
1.0.
potentially.
Mhm,
What
yeah.
about
Yeah, so
Arcane?
Arcane, I think they're due for Blade. It's been too quiet on the Blade front. For we're literally 3 years away from when it was revealed. So I would say yes. It's time for Blade.
Blade.
Mhm.
I I think that Blade might be at Jeff's show.
Yeah, because it's like a big wide thing, like mainstream sort of thing.
I'm
So
gonna say no for Arcane.
okay, I'll say yes, and I'll take the L. So
I think you're. I don't know. I'm just trying to separate us a little bit. I think you're.
mhm,
I think you have better odds.
yeah.
In Exile.
Mhm. In Exile, they had the. I feel they had the game of the show for Xbox last year, and how they showed Clockwork Revolution.
Hmm.
I was bummed that it didn't even come with a release date. I feel they show up to finally be like, "This is when it's coming. It's time." So yeah,
I agree.
Clockwork.
It just actually popped up, and they took it down, but it popped up in the coming soon to Game Pass tab on the
There you
Xbox.
go. Yeah, so I feel like
Um,
it's. I feel it's time, like it's like because showing up last year with a release, it was like a. That was the big problem with last year's showcase. It was still good, but that's what made 2025 showcase less impressive than 2023 and 2024. The things that were missing coming up
mhm.
again without any release dates. And then we heard like the games that got killed. Unfortunately, that was like such a
Yeah,
unfortunate rake stuff. Turn 10, it's dead. I would say no. They're support studio for Forza, so like for Forza
yeah.
Horizon. So I'm
I
a no
had
on
I
that.
had Playground games. I just put Fable. I think we both know it's going to be
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Um,
It's I feel like this showcase is the time where you put a date for Fable.
yeah, and it's going to be in the
Now,
fall.
Eric, I saw Paris Lily mention that Fable should be slotted for December. At this point, if that's where you, I feel this is 2027, just because of the GTA nuclear bomb. Like I feel like the GTA nuclear bomb and the Gears E-Day, like
I
because
think Gears is
what
going
are
to
we
be.
missing? Yeah, we got Forza 6, so that's done. PS5 version comes in later this year. That's its separate thing. Um, we know the rumor for E-Day is September, right? Like that's kind of like I think we talked about it last
I think
week.
it will be early September, maybe even
Yeah.
late August. There's a spot. It's going to be the main sponsor for Triple Mania. I think
Hmm.
Triple Mania is like early September. Triple Mania is. It just says September 11th is Triple Mania. So the game will be out before Triple Mania, I think. So I think it will be
Yeah.
early September.
Yeah.
Um, I think that it can fit between. The thing about Fable is like
Mhm.
it doesn't have the same demographic. Like the overlap of people who really want to play COD, really want to play Gears, and really want to play Fable is like very
Mhm.
slim.
Yeah.
Um,
And
I
we
think
now know that COD is slated for October 23rd. They slotted it a month before GTA. Kind of similar to how Black Ops 4 was 3.5 weeks before Red Dead 2. Like they like preempting
yeah,
before release. So
I think it's going to
um,
be late September, early October for
okay,
Fable.
yeah, but I think we are not getting out of this showcase with finally getting a release date for Fable. I feel that is
Yeah.
set. So
What
Fable's
about
gonna be there.
Double Fine?
Double Fine, I feel they're gonna go dormant. They literally gave us Keeper and Kiln.
Yeah.
So it's like
I
it's
do think
time.
they have something cooking that's not as far away as people think, but I don't think they show up today
Yeah,
or that day. What about Compulsion?
I would say Compulsion Games is a no. We just got South of Midnight, so and they just
I
put out the
agree.
PS5 and Switch game. So Ninja Theory is a weird one right now because it's like I don't know what's happened to it because I know the studio had left after Hellblade 2. Obviously, we know Hellblade 2 was a weird one where it didn't review bad. It was an 81 Metacritic, but kind of like the sentiment towards that game was so sour.
People
And
had
it's
people had mismatched expectations. They
with
thought it was
that one,
going to be
unfortunately.
God of War, but
Hmm
it was never going to be
But
that.
that's on them because they didn't say from the very beginning they're doing a similar game to the original one. They waited too late to say they basically made the same game
Yeah.
of that size, unfortunately, and it's not bad. It's still one of the most beautiful games ever.
Will they
But
be there though?
it's been 2 years now. I'd say maybe next year they show up with something. They're gonna be the ones that are gonna get the slap in the face, the slap in the hand is like, we let you guys go too early. Look what happened. Like they were the first Series X game we ever saw. It was a reveal like in 2019. So
Yeah, I remember
they
they're like, it doesn't count. What's that game called? I have it up there. The PS5 one, the
the
Melee.
uh,
Somewhere on here.
Blade something. The play like that game.
This is better because it actually showed
Ah,
gameplay. It was the first next gen gameplay ever. Who cares? Hellblade was
who
just
cares?
CG. Guess what? The
The
Hellblade
game suck.
wasn't CG.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was a
what it
CG.
looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was still most an experience than a real game too. But it's like Godfall was bad. Godfall was as
You
as
might
Skilla put in
notice
his
that this
review.
is
God awful. So
not
sealed.
opened. Yeah. Um
Oh man.
yeah, I don't think they'll be there. But I think that they have some. I don't think Project Mara is a game. I think they
Mm-hmm.
will do a Hellblade 3. I don't know if it's here. What about Undead Labs?
Undead Labs, shit or get off the pot now. They're gonna be there for State of Decay 3. Apparently, like I heard this from Sacred Symbols. A job listing for a PS5 or like people with PS5 expertise was unearthed from Undead Labs, so they're probably also working on like multi-platform version of that game. So it's like that thing's been like, gosh, like we heard of State of Decay 3 since the 2020 showcase.
Yeah.
It's 6 years. It's time. If you didn't kill State of Decay 3 when you killed everything in summer 2025, like I feel this is the time. Obviously, Collision, yes, and Gears E-Day, they have the post
Post show like direct.
the post show. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting the Black Ops 6 and Outer Worlds 2 like post game show, and
What ab-
Starfield
what
post
about
game show.
Mojang?
Mojang, they'll probably show up another Minecraft thing. Like,
That's a yes.
yeah,
Okay. Another Minecraft thing. Do you want to be more specific?
I mean another Minecraft update. So it feels like it's. Uh, didn't they announce a Minecraft Dungeons too?
Yeah.
I'll say Minecraft Dungeons too. They'll probably put it out there and release like and release. You reviewed that one, right? Like the
I reviewed
original
Minecraft, not Dungeons.
Dungeons.
Dungeons is really good, actually. I
Mhm.
reviewed Minecraft Legends, which honestly is also really good. And that was my favorite review. Like,
Experience.
yeah, I guess that would be the best way because they had play sessions with the developers.
Hmm
And I'll just go on like a 1 minute tangent. So
hmm
I'm somebody who plays. I used to play a ton of RTS games, so I am like somewhat competent at these games. And RTS, that is kind of what the PvP is in Minecraft Legends. And the PR people, I don't know if they were like they didn't have enough players, so the PR people were jumping in, but the PR people jumped in to play us, and we were in a lobby. It was kind of just like pick your own teams, and I was just like, "Hey, let's do the." I thought they were developers, so I was like, "How about
hmm
developers versus the critics?" And I can't remember who was on my team. It was me and Detective Seeds. You might know him from
hmm
Twitter. He was there.
Yeah.
That's how I met him, and there was somebody else or whatever, and I was just like in the. Have you ever seen the movie White Men Can't Jump?
Yeah. I've
Yes.
seen it.
So I actually played the game a lot. I played it on hard, like this is like I had access to it before this session. And so I already knew how this was going to go. And I wanted to play against developers because I wanted to see like how good they were because I figured they'd be pretty good. I thought they were developers. They were PR people who were not like S tier gamers. Anyways, so I was just acting like, oh yeah, I think I played a couple rounds. Like I'm not very good at RTS games or whatever. Anyways, the game starts. I'm like, Detective Seat, just mine as much rocks as you can. Feed them to me. I have a plan. And then I just basically went to the back of their base when they were out farming materials and just playing normally and just like equivalent of like a Zerg rush if you've ever played StarCraft, and the game was over in like 80 seconds. Like it was like at the massacre, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I guess we won. Anyways, so that was just super fun experience. I'll never forget that. Yeah, it was the first time I met Detective Seats. But yeah, that game's not going to be there. Minecraft Dungeons will be. I am going to actually say that Mojang will not be there. I think they already showed that off, and yeah, I don't even know if, I guess Legends might have been there before, but
There
I
it
don't, I
was.
don't think they're going to double dip on a game like that. What about Blizzard?
I would say they're gonna be there for Overwatch because I feel like Overwatch has been such a surprise research game that I feel like that's gonna be the one. That it feels like that's the one because has Warcraft shown at an Xbox stuff? Remind me.
Yep.
Like,
They
yeah,
baited
so
me when I thought it was coming to consoles, but it was just a
that's
trailer
right.
for.
That's
Yeah.
right. In the 2024 one, many times it always felt like they were ready to deliver the console like God Punch, and it never happened. So I'm not betting on that anymore. I would say because we just got Diablo. Uh, I feel it's Overwatch may get a like new character or something like that because Overwatch really did like pull a miracle resurgence, like literally, like that
It's
is a
crushing
miracle. Like
Marvel Rivals right now, which is, I never
yeah,
thought that would happen.
I thought that was over. Like it really literally felt it was so over for Overwatch after Marvel Rivals really
Yeah.
like, and I would say Marvel Rivals is steady. It's like it's there. It's like a lot of people play it and all of that. Obviously, it's not like the big. It was like a massive thing when it launched in December 2024, but it's been steady. But I feel like Overwatch really going back to just being Overwatch was like a nice resurgence. I see how so many people play it again. So I feel like
Yep.
that's gonna be one that they're gonna like might as well keep building. It's like you recovered a game that was at one point the biggest thing in the world, and it died by stupid by stupid C-suite decisions. So yeah, I think it's gonna be Blizzard will be there, and it's gonna be Overwatch.
I don't think Blizzard will be there because Blizzard is finally bringing back BlizzCon, and anything worthwhile that they're going to mention or show to this year, it's going to probably be at BlizzCon. That's my guess. What about ZeniMax Online Studios?
They killed their game, their new one. So I feel if they're gonna show up there, it's gonna be the next ESO thing. So yes,
and ESO update.
yeah.
I'm
Unless under Asha Sharma, she's finally you've shown these games way too much. We need new stuff. It's always the expected block. Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76, and ESO. We've always had those three games always show up. That was always my bathroom break.
Yeah, so I know that ESO kind of like changed its model from doing expansions. So, I mean, they could show a commercial, but I think that's kind of cheap. I don't want to guess a commercial, so I'm just going to say no. What about World's Edge?
Remind me, who are they?
Age of Empires, Age of Mythology.
Okay, because they just put out those, and they went multi-platform too. I'm just gonna say no.
I also am going to say no. All right, let's finish this off with some random questions here. We got, I think, about 10 of them. Do you think that Toys for Bob will show their new game?
It's time. They got contracted. They got bought out and contracted. So it's like they got to show up with something, right? I'm just not gonna guess what it is. So
okay, I am going to say yes, and I am going to say Spyro. Where's Kojima?
He will be here. Why I say that? He got invited by Asha and Matt Booty. So I'm like, I feel like it's time. Like the greatest mercenary in the world is gonna like swing over this way to deliver what he promised. So, and I feel like he wants to get OD out because he wants to work on Vincent. So I feel like this is gonna be that I'm just gonna deliver what we agreed on. So
part of me thinks he's going to be showing OD at Jeff's show, but I'm not going to go back and change it. So I'll say the same thing you said.
Because if you remember when he officially announced that he was doing the project with Xbox, he did not show up at Jeff's show that year in 2022. So that's why I'm like, I feel he can be very selective. That was when he showed up here. Like it was like, we got a special announcement from someone special, and he was just a video to be like, "Hi, I'm working on a game with Xbox," and that was it. But he didn't have anything. But he showed the first footage over at Jeff's show at that kind of like Game Awards 2023 when it was like the faces of the actors. One of them who recently passed away, Udo Kier. So,
but wasn't there another showing of it too at Tokyo Game Show? Like the thing with the candles? I can't remember exactly what it was.
I think so too. But I do feel that if OD has to show somewhere, I think it's gonna be at Xbox's show. It's like a, I think they were very intentional of showing him like with Matt Booty and Asha. So I feel that it's like like looking at those things. So I'm like, yeah, I feel uh,
Do you
that's
think that
gonna be a thing.
do you think there'll be a partnership with an Asian studio? And just to clarify what I mean by that,
Like a
either
Sega,
either a Play Anywhere Game Pass day one, some sort of I guess those are probably the main things.
I feel Play Anywhere is more likely at this point right
Even
now.
just
I
on
feel like,
stage, I guess.
yeah, I would say like that's been something that it's so they always play token. I was like, yeah, we have our Asian thing, our Asian like partnership. I think last year was Persona 4 and the and that game that looked like Splinter Cell but wasn't Splinter Cell.
I think that game's dead.
Is it?
I think the
Like, do you remember?
studio ran out of money.
There was it also in under the NetEase cuts. That sucks because that game looked so good. So,
Yeah.
but I feel they like doing that. So I feel that's been the one thing that they consistently improve. So I'm gonna say yes. Just not gonna define because I wouldn't have expected that Splinter Cell looking thing last year. So,
I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna say Sega.
Sega.
Do you think that every game shown at the showcase will be either Play Anywhere or on Game Pass?
No,
100%.
yeah, it's gonna be probably like an 80%. But I don't think everyone's like going in with Play Anywhere.
I think it'll be 100%. I don't think they'll all be on Game Pass, but I think everything will be Play Anywhere. That's like the big thing that they've been pushing with Helix and stuff like. I think, yeah. Do you think Phil Spencer makes an appearance?
This could be like, I want to thank all the Xbox fans for all the support that he was giving us over the years. I'm very excited for this new era of Xbox. Thank you for 25 years of it. I'm very excited for this new vision under Asha Sharma. Like, you could do that, but the thing is that he already had his goodbye. Like, he's still technically there until the summer, but he had said that he was going to be like a behind the scenes to let Asha do her thing. So I'm going to say no. I think it's very clear that I think it's very intentional that the better PR has happened because he's receded and let Asha run the ship. So I'm gonna say no. It would be nice because it's the 25th, but
I think he's gonna be there. I don't know exactly what. I just think that he didn't leave like Sarah Bond did. It's not on
yeah,
as bad terms or whatever happened there.
yeah,
I think he's been in everyone basically for like
yeah,
2 decades. So like I don't know. Do you think they'll
yeah.
show some?
If he's there, I think that's how it's gonna be as a thank you. And here I'm handing the baton to the new generation because all this happened in between anything. So
Yeah.
um,
Hardware?
hardware show and
Helix?
I'm gonna say the no. I don't think a Helix because they said that that's for later. They're gonna talk more Helix. Like they're talking Helix
It's
now, but
late.
they're
We're late. This is later.
this later. I'm gonna
It doesn't
say
have to
no
be
because
Helix though. It doesn't have to
yeah.
any hardware.
Okay, I'll say yes, and I'll say the version 3 of the Elite that recently got like leaked.
Yeah,
I feel that's like a safer like here it is.
I think Elite 3 is there too. Do you think that the reveal of the one more thing, like the lead up to the one more thing, will be spoken or said by Asha?
It will be her. It's always been like before it was Phil Spencer saying it, before it was Sarah Bond saying it, and I think it's gonna be her. So I'll say yes. What will that be? No idea.
We're gonna have to
No
guess in
idea.
a minute here when you guess the bookends.
Oh man, yeah. Who else would say it though? Matt Booty?
Phil. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we're sort of not aligned lately. I'm gonna say, I bet you this will never be able to be confirmed, but I bet you it would be offered to Phil, and he'll probably say that Asha should do it. Do you think there'll be a shadow drop?
There usually is like a play now on Game Pass. I think Grounded was one of those that was like now play now, like
Mhm.
the thing. So yes, I'll say yes. Game Pass allows them
Oops.
like anything like that allows them to do that. So I'll say yes. What it is, I don't think. I don't know. The most insane shadow drop though. Halo Campaign Evolved available right now.
That's
I'm not gonna. I'm
that's
not
what
gonna
I'm
say
putting.
it.
That's what I'm put. I
Yeah,
think that's what's going to happen because I think that if they're like, oh, we want to put it out on the anniversary, that's good luck. Your
yeah, it's
anniversary
there. Like,
is
it's
right
it's,
before
it's
GTA. Okay,
the literal week.
We'll do it before that. Okay, that's Call of Duty. We'll do it before that.
Mhm.
That's Fable. Do it before that. That's Gears.
Yeah,
Um, it's
I'll leave it blank. I'll give it to you. I'm gonna. I
it's
feel like
tough
yeah.
because
I feel July. I feel July is so empty right now that it feels like that could be the nice place to put it. If you don't want to like shadow drop it, that would be the most awesome shadow drop. Especially like there's already weird vibes with this because it's not a complete Halo. It's remaking. It's remaking Combat Evolved again. It's the multi-platform launch for Halo. Uh, so it's like already the vibes are weird with this one. So it feels like one that you kind of want to get out because you really need to set the new future for Halo soon. So I can see that, but I'm gonna leaving it blank. But I would say yes, Shadow Drop.
do you think there'll be a world premiere with a 2026 release date?
I'm gonna say no. I think we're gonna get dates for things that haven't gotten it yet, but I don't think there's gonna be like a new one for this year. I feel that was if that was gonna happen, it was gonna be what how because Kill was technically revealed officially in January, right? Like
Yeah,
there was a rumor, but that was like the official reveal from Killing from Double Fine. So I feel like Januaries are usually like kind of like how Ninja Gaiden 4 was revealed then, and it came out the same year. I feel
and
if they
Black
do it,
remake.
yeah, in Black Remake, and that was a shadow drop too. So it's like if it's like how Xbox does it, is that the chance of that revealing happening the same year? It's that January direct. They've done it so many times, and later in the year, I'm trying to remember have we had new reveals that happened that same like if they hadn't said anything about Call of Duty, that would have counted because that technically that's what Black Ops 7 was.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to do that anymore, like that, because like especially how Black Ops 7 went, that it was one of the worst entries in the series. Like, and now is there one more thing? Like, I feel they're more. I think they're more apprehensive with that, but I cannot think of anything else.
Well, it would be like a random third party, but I just don't. Yeah, I think everybody's gonna try to avoid the fall and the
Mhm.
summer's like too close. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no as well. Do you think anybody, any human from Microsoft or Xbox will say the word exclusive?
I'll be the one that says no.
I'm going yes,
You're gonna guess? Okay.
and it's gonna be Asha.
Yeah.
Will back compat return in some way or be mentioned?
Maybe it's gonna be mentioned as a future initiative. I'll say yes.
I will say no. Not yet.
Mhm.
Some soon though. All right, last thing, bookends. And E Day doesn't
Bookends
count.
B.
E Day
It
doesn't
doesn't count.
count.
As I'm
Yeah.
gonna say because like that's like the direct for after.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Who has some? Let me see. I feel we start with Fable to just get the release that out of the way.
Okay.
Uh, to kind of set the tenor, and then we end with the reveal of the next major Halo game.
I think it's going to be COD and Halo 7.
On Halo, yeah.
Yeah, I
Can
think that
get out
we're
the
getting that too. I'm going to manifest this.
Mhm.
This might not be common knowledge. 343 is not making campaign involved. It's a
No,
different
they're
team.
outsourcing that thing. It's outsourced. It's
They're
outsourced. Mhm.
just like in the Slack saying good job guys and maybe like making sure it's going well. But they have a big team that's been working on something for a while. And Halo Infinite, obviously it had a troubled development. It came out a year after it was supposed to, but it had like 4 years of trailers. And the first one we got with like the animals and the warthog driving and then the Master Chief helmet with the piano cue. That
The Slip Space Engine announcement, basically.
yes,
Them
that
announcing it's
was
like,
so good, dude. That was my wallpaper for like 2 years. So
And don't forget the 2019 reveal of Halo Infinite. That was like the cutscene of the pilot where he gets stranded and listens to the family and finds the chief floating, and gave us kind of
Mhm.
the first in-game in look of the
that was like
of
such
the
an
game.
emotional thing for me. Like when he was
Hmm.
listening to his kid and the battery oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh. You don't expect those kind of emotional like gut punches in Halo.
Yeah.
Infinite's so underrated, the campaign.
Hmm. Yeah. It's such a bummer that like every like the first two times I saw Halo Infinite, they were like nicely received because they were setting the tone and all that. And then the freaking 2020 showcase with what was the name of what's the nickname they gave the brute?
Craig.
uh Craig, and then the Craig thing happened, and that really kind of like
Do you want to know
sent
what's
everything
funny
to
about
hell.
that? When I watched that live, I was thinking this is
I
so awesome the whole time. And then someone just paused it at the right time. We're like, oh, look,
and they
Craig.
and ruined it. Yeah, I
It
remember
ruined it for
thinking I was
me
like,
though. It just was like it was a console war stuff. I don't know
mhm, yeah,
anyone who likes Halo that was like
mhm,
feeling any negativity towards that.
yeah.
But anyway,
The only thing
it
that I
was
think
funny.
was common was that they were like, for a next gen Halo thing, this is not looking too next gen. I do remember. I remember when I watched it, I was like, I mean, it looks nice, but it's like I don't remember not feeling like deep visual punch like I did in the first two showings. I was like, interesting. I was like, this doesn't look bad, but it's not blowing me away visually. I would say like the extra year they took, like they tweak lighting and all that, and Halo Infinite is a really great looking game. I wish it
Yeah,
had
I
more
think
time diversity, but it's great looking.
the
So
close up of like Esherim in the hologram, I didn't think that looked super good, but
mhm.
I thought the environments looked really good. But anyway, yeah, that's a wrap. I mean, I don't if you really quickly want to talk about what you were playing, we can get that out, but I know what you were playing is what you want to be playing right now. So, and we're
Yeah.
already at 2 hours, so
Mhm.
I haven't really been playing that much to be honest.
Yeah, I'm playing the 007 First Light. Obviously, that came out on early access on Tuesday. I streamed it. I streamed the first 5 hours, and then I got so invested with something that happened. I was like, I don't need chat distraction right now. I'm locking in. Because I kind of wanted to write a review for it for SE since we didn't get a code, but we're like in that window to kind of try to put our review. I think I'm near the end.
Mhm. I hear it's
I'll
around
cook.
15 hours.
Yeah, it feels like that. Like I've been
Yeah.
playing. I thought it was ending, and I was like, oh wow, there's more. Okay, like it does feel like even if you feel like you're reaching the end, there's still more. So it's like it's still a fairly meaty game, but it doesn't feel like it's dry because there's times where you feel like you're playing something, you're like ready for it to be over. You're like, wait, there's more. I don't feel like that. I'm more like, oh wait, there's more. Yes, because I don't want this to be over quite yet. I feel like it's been paced wonderfully. Kind of like I mentioned it today in our chat at SG. I feel it's so funny how I feel like this game and Resident Evil Requiem live in the same Venn diagram where the games are like two games in one. Like Requiem was a survival horror game with like a gonzo action game, like also next to it, and this is a Hitman. I made the joke that it's Diet Hitman with Uncharted like action, and I feel like Double Seven First Light, it's a better merge of two separate games than what Requiem was. And I love Requiem, but I feel like in both of these games, I'm like, I would take a full game if it's just this or this. I feel like Double Seven First Light more expertly handles both sides of the sandbox nature when you're like an open environment you're exploring. It's not as dynamic, or it seems like it has the amount of sandbox options that Hitman delivers you, but it's because it's a more directed experience. It's not giving you that in the narrative. Different story if you go to Taxim, which is kind of like they're kind of like their version of the free whatever that thing was called Hitman, that you can play scenarios in different ways and all that. You can do that. You unlock that separately, but within the narrative, it's very directed, but it's allowing you to get more. If Hitman never clicked for you, I feel First Light is a great training for you to then go play that with him. I feel it better trains you to the sandboxy nature to then go do the actual hardcore sandboxy nature of Hitman World Assassination. And I feel they really nailed what it's like to play like a directed action adventure game in the mold of Uncharted that is like well considered, explosive action. The combat's fun. Like the the visual presentation's insane. Even on a base machine, I've been like playing it both on PS5 Pro and the base just to kind of see how it is. Like obviously on base machines, like on performance mode, there's some blurriness in specific places you find, but it's also a sharper game than I was expecting to play in performance mode. It plays really well. I like how intentionally messy the combat feels. I feel like this game, it's at its best if you don't play it as a traditional cover based shooter. You can do that way, like being on cover, pop for a headshot. I feel that's the worst way to play this. Be messy,
Yeah.
spray, run, throw the guns, or like shoot the leg or the hand to drop down, do like an execution, like try play it as John Wick as possible as you can, like with improvisation. I feel they've nailed that feeling of improvisation, even like in during the times that you play stealth. What I like the most is that the messiness of you being caught has been baked into the game, and it's so Bond. If you look many of the Bond movies, he's not the perfect spy. Things go wrong all the time, and he improvises. And I feel they've really nailed that. You don't get punished for not nailing stealth like you usually would, and I feel that has done wonders to this game's pacing. I like the tempo of this game. Like like the way this game's the tempo of this game goes. It's so engrossing you don't want to stop playing, even when you think you're reaching. Okay, it's time for the tutorial part. The parts are usually boring. I know how this plays are bad. I feel like they've made the most perfect tutorial sequence in probably any game that is so feels like a movie. It's cut like a movie. It's paced like a movie. Like it cuts so quick in the different things that it teaches you, and it's so fun. It's like it's so entertaining. This I feel mixes the gravitas of the Daniel Craig era with the fun of Pierce Brosnan and Roger Moore. It's like, and it answers the thing that I always love when Bond is always brought back like into modern. It's like, is James Bond relevant for the modern age? And I feel like the story that it tells is very quintessentially perfectly Bond. It's obviously it's an origin story, but it's so perfectly tailored to this modern era of AI, like high tech and things like that. I feel like it's interesting how they painted like the usual Bond tropes under like heavy AI surveillance and things like that. I feel like it keeps it really interesting, and it's how you nail Bond every time that you reboot him, put him in like in current time. The same thing happened when they did it with Brosnan in '95. The same thing happened with Craig in 2006, and I feel they nailed. Like I nailed the assignment. I feel like they understood Bond really well, and I feel this game joins the pantheon of Indiana Jones, Spider Man, like what other like there's so many great licenses, like even the Jedi
Arkham.
games I would put there. Arkham, like in the top tier, like license video games. I was like the perfect studio to bring Bond back, like, and I'm and I it's been it is currently my favorite game of this year, like easy. It's been
Yeah.
so it was great to start, and it just got more impressive as it went along. It's not perfect, but no game is, and it's so good. So
Right now, like Resident Evil 9 is my game of the year so far, as we talked about last
mhm,
week. But if like what I played just, which is like the first 2 hours or just under 2 hours because I got the refund,
mhm,
um, was fantastic. And I love Uncharted so much. Um, I have a feeling that this could. I'm probably going to pick it up physically tomorrow.
mhm,
One thing that I want to note is like this, like you had said, this is a level up for IOI. Not that Hitman
mhm,
was a bad franchise; it's a beloved franchise, and it seems like it has just constantly gotten better
mhm.
with the different releases they've done. But I think it's important to remember that IOI's next project is like an online fantasy RPG, which
That's wild.
it's like I mean, it's just text right now, and it's kind of like it's probably far out, but it seems like it could be like a fantasy Destiny style game. And with the chops that they've shown with this and the level up, like, and that's an Xbox Studios game too. So
Mhm.
I think that
That's right. They partnered with them. I had forgotten. That was like so early in the generation. They made that partnership, right? Like
yeah,
from
well,
what
it
I
got
remember.
leaked in the FCC or whatever documents,
Yeah.
Project
Mhm.
Dragon, but then it got renamed into, I'll link it for you here. It got
Mhm.
renamed into Project Fantasy, which is
Mhm.
not obviously the title, what it's going to be,
Mhm.
but this is like a hiring ad essentially. And there's some concept art there. It looks
Yeah.
very Tolkien esque, high
Mhm.
fantasy. They they have my money right now. They it's the engine that they've done. You've talked about a little bit. Uh,
Glacier is so good. It's like it's
Locked
so
60.
refreshing. Yeah, it's locked 60 at base. Like image quality issues aside here and there with some because it uses kind of like image reconstruction, so you see it in
Yeah, it's
foliage
FSR
far up.
3.
But
Yeah,
yeah, FSR 3.1, I think Digital Foundry said, but beyond
yeah,
that. I was like playing on base. I was like, man, this is like really holding its end of the bargain, and it's so smooth. It's like
Yep.
it's not like a smudgy mess like when you watch. And on Pro, it's to die for. It's incredibly sharp.
Yep.
It's like it's using PSSR 2.0. It's like they like it is like it's as good as it looks on base like on Pro. And my brother is playing it on his PC. I got to see it with FrameGen and all that. It's like this game is scaling so well.
Yep.
Just like I hoped it would, because Hitman World of Assassination looks so good. Also, it's like I will always champion games that don't look like UE5 because UE5 has become so. It's a great engine when like people really optimize it. It's like unfortunately most of the consoles don't, and it feels like the best way to get things out of UE5 is not use everything it uses, because Lumen, Nanite, all this stuff is just too strong for like what the current machines have, and other custom engines actually work with the current with the current hardware. Like I love how it looks. Like Indiana Jones and Doom Dark Ages look exquisite and run so well, and has even things like ray tracing and all that. I'm mourning still the death of the Red Engine for Cyberpunk. I know Cyberpunk was like a disaster at launch and all that, but it's like now that it's fixed and you see it, it's like, man, I'm gonna miss like the custom look because it looks so good. Like it will be a miracle if they're able to recreate that in UE5 because that's what Cyberpunk 2 is gonna be built on. But
Yep.
it's like the more you see all these other engines that are not UE that are like have become like so common, it's like it gives the game a unique visual look. It's so bright, like the lighting is so exquisite and colorful. It's like
Yep.
I have so this is gonna be like if I write that review for SE and my because we have a slideshow that we put at the bottom, I'm gonna like put so many screenshots of this thing because it's like it's so it looks like every different area is like it's so exquisitely crafted. And that's the thing that I love the most is that Hitman World of Assassination was exquisitely crafted, but it was meant to be a sandbox. I love seeing what they were able to do with something even more directed, more like narrative through line and all that. And they like IO has shown that they have the shops. Are they as fully polished as let's say Uncharted 4? There's elements that I feel Uncharted 4 still nails slightly more. Like for example, I feel Uncharted, like a game like Uncharted 4, like being able to move from cover, jump, and climb, and all of that, it's more seamless than how you do it here. In this one, it's too context based. That you have to wait for the prompt for Bond to do certain things. So there's a certain stiffness to be able to smoothly do stuff that's not there in Uncharted that becomes more seamless in the controller. But I would say that Hitman is a deeper game, like when you mix the fact that it's a sandbox that you manipulate and it has its action stuff, and it also nails like the set piece moments. There's excellent like spectacle moments in the thing that we have not seen in many games in recent time. Like we used to
Yeah.
get so many Uncharted like there was a joke, everything is Uncharted, because everyone was trying to do like all the
The
little set
Tomb
piece
Raider
moments. And
games. Yeah.
yeah, Tomb Raider's been gone. Like we're getting Tomb Raider back this year. It's like it's funny. It's like we haven't had this style of game tempo and action for 8 years. Think about that. Shadow of the
Yeah.
Tomb Raider was 2018. The Jedi games, I would say, half of them delivered some of that.
Especially the second one.
Yeah, the second one in particular is the one that delivered some of those moments. But and the Spider-Man games deliver
Call
that
of
in an
Duty
open
does too.
world.
I'll give it that to Call
Yeah,
of Duty, but
yeah, Call of Duty, that's their tempo, and
yeah.
that's something that they've never stopped. This last Call of Duty game didn't, unfortunately, because it was a co-op thing. Six did. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 did have its moments,
Yeah.
but I would say like hats off to IO. Is like I was worried because it's like I always knew that they were a great fit, but the state of play they showed, the game wasn't running right.
Yeah.
Then they became weird how they showed the game afterwards, where they promoted they were gonna be at the Xbox ID event, ID at Xbox event, or whatever the showcase they do late in the year. That's more for indies or third parties. That was a headliner, and they only showed me like the Aston Martin is in this game. I was like, what the? Why do you promote this then? And then like when they showed up at Jeff's show, they're like, Lenny Kravitz is in in the game. I'm like,
I forgot he was
why
in
are
the
you?
game. I didn't see him. I didn't get that far.
Yeah, no, it's he's halfway through the game.
Yeah.
I'll just say that he's not even there that much. But I would say the way he enters the story, and it's actually perfect. It's quintessential Bond. But it's like they were so weird showing it and not showing it that the only good news I got was when they delayed it, because remember this was supposed to be out in March. That was the only time I was like, okay, at least you're giving yourself more time. But from the previews and them showing more stuff over the last few weeks to now, they landed the ship. They absolutely landed the ship. This is not. It is funny considering I was the one that published Mind's Eye. how they released during Summer Game Fest. I had like the big bad like notion that it's like, are you trying to release so close to Summer Game Fest because you want to be buried by the news? That's kind of like what I was going. I was like, my confidence in them knowing quality got shaken, or the fact that they decided Mindsight was what they were gonna publish. Obviously, they already severed the relationship with Build a Rocket Boy because that was such a bad black eye of like. Tell me who you
Yeah,
associate
hopefully they
yourself
don't give
with.
up on publishing after that. Like,
No, I don't. I hope not. That they got so screwed. That's so
yeah,
sad. That is like one of the greatest comeback stories of a studio that was in the rocks early 2010s, got bought by Square Enix, and that kind of like big idols like takeover. They were slightly doing good work. They experimented with Hitman, and they found something with Hitman in 2016. But Square Enix, classic Square Enix, they did not meet our expectation. That they were able to buy themselves out from Square Enix,
yep,
self-publish Hitman 2, then be like, it's making the money that we want. And they were like, this is the amount of money that we're making on with Hitman 2016. So it's like, oh, so it was like you were making money. It was just Square Enix were being idiots like they usually are because they were overshooting. It's like they found a sustainability. They built Hitman to be one of the low key live service successes. Like because it's like Hidden World of Assassination gets content often. Like people that play love it. They found a sustainability. Like that game fed them. Hidden World of Assassination is like what has kept the engine going as they expanded themselves. They got the Bond license. They're here now. It's like what a great independent studio they became.
yep,
Yeah, like and something that I admire, and I'm glad that this game that Mind's Eye aside, like this is a proof. It's like Core IO still got it. This is one of the best games of this year.
yep,
I hope it gets its flowers when we reach it because Hitman 3 was so good, and I hate that it came so early in 2021 that it didn't get the flowers it deserved at large because Hitman 3 was really good. So
yeah.
that was my game of the year in 2021. So that's why I had high hopes for this, and it's delivered after my shaken like
Mind's eye.
trust. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So,
I'm gonna be picking it up probably tomorrow, and yeah, I'm
mhm,
gonna be probably crushing it.
mhm,
Hopefully I can get it done by the showcases, and maybe we can do a spoiler talk at
mhm.
some point.
I'd
Um,
love to.
but that's gonna be all we have for today because we tried to cut this one short. I think we what was the last one was like I think we cut like
Nearly 3 hours, so we cut 40 minutes this
there
time.
you go. Okay, we're getting even
Yes,
better. So that's our
yeah.
predictions. I think we had mentioned this earlier, but Alex is actually going to go to Summer Games Fest like on foot. So hopefully, when he gets back, we can link up and go over the results of our predictions, but also get some hands-on uh,
Mhm.
discussions about everything that went down over there.
Yeah.
Before we go,
That I'm
though,
allowed to talk. That I'm allowed to talk because there's NDA stuff that
yeah,
we'll see
so
that we'll be able
I
to
mean,
talk.
just for some additional context, like you can go, I think, as just like a dude, and you can just
Mhm,
like watch stuff. But if you go as press, like Alex is, and like other people at
mhm.
Season Gaming are, you actually get appointments to see like behind closed door stuff too. So some pretty
Yeah.
interesting things there. Hopefully we can get some insights.
Mhm,
Um, that the next episode will probably be later because we're going to
mhm.
give Alex a chance to actually like get home
Yeah.
and unwind a little bit. There's a lot of traveling. He's not walking down the street to Summer Games Fest. He's traveling across the ocean.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
traveling next month, this coming Monday. All right. It's
yeah.
right before the state of play. So I will be in the US for that. So and then I'm going to Summer Game Fest that Thursday. So
Are you
it's gonna
guys
be
gonna
a
get
trip.
like a TV or something to watch the state of play together? Or
I'm not meeting with our season gaming crew until Thursday. I'm gonna be with family because I'm
oh,
going to Vegas
gotcha.
first,
Oh,
and then
cool.
I'm gonna drive to LA afterwards. So
Oh,
I'll
nice.
be watching this. I'll be watching the state of play by myself. If you want to do anything like reacting to it, I mean, like I like a post reaction. Let's talk about it, and I'll take my laptop with me. So
I think
like,
I should mention this.
mhm,
Todd Oxtra,
mhm.
I forget the name of his podcast. It's really bad of me. He
Mhm.
invited me on to go and do a react to it that evening.
Ooh, nice.
So I'll be doing that. It's
Yeah,
the
he just joined my Destiny my Discord. He joined because he's in the Spread in the Nerd Discord too. So
okay,
like
cool.
we had him join because he wanted to like go back to Destiny, uh, like whenever the update jumps around. So I
Yeah.
know Todd. So
Sweet. Yeah, no, he's been great. I did a fantasy football podcast with him. The podcast is called Best Thing This Week. It's technically a Summer Games Fest preview, but it's going to be live, I believe. Actually, I don't know if it's live or not, but it's going to be recorded after PlayStation's event, so that will
Mhm.
be discussed as well. I actually don't know how many people got on it. I can ask if you want, if there's room, if
Mhm.
you want to come on it as
Yeah.
well. I'll see what I think he reached out to a lot of people, so if he got a lot of yeses, then it might be a bit
Mhm.
packed,
I'd
but
be I'd be down. Like I'd totally be down. Like I'm bringing my laptop with me, so I can do it like on the spot there
all right,
if
cool.
needed.
Well, I'll
So
bring it up and we'll see
mhm.
how what he says. But either way, I'll be on that on Tuesday, and then me and Alex will meet probably the week after Summer Games Fest at some point
Mhm.
to go over it. But yeah, before
Mhm.
we go though, do you want to tell the people where they can find you?
They can find me at the Slayer Giant on Twitter and Blue Sky, and also on Twitch, where I tend to like stream 3 times a week, at least at minimum. Right now, like I've only streamed once because I went much earlier and I streamed a lot of Bond, and then I've just been offline because I kind of want to beat it for to be able to write a review. So there is a chance that I do more streams over this weekend just to kind of get those 3 streams done. But like, uh, the Slayer Giant on Twitch, and there's also a link there in my description where you can join the Slayer Giants Discord, where that's where I give my rundown of what I want to do in a given week and have my my community vote for the things they want to see from me. We chat games, make fun of certain people that we have in the we have there too that Eric knows who's there too. But it's like it's a fun time. Like right now, my Discord has been like lit with Double Seven First Light
Nice,
talk. It's been fun. It
sweet.
feels good. It feels good that there's legit excitement over something for over a year that's been so unfortunately dour with with cynicism. I feel like
Yeah,
it feels good being excited for a game
that's
right now.
awesome.
So
And I'll definitely be linking that in the description of this video as well.
mhm,
I actually don't know when it's going to go live. It's probably going to be, if you're watching this as soon as it comes out, it's probably Saturday. Right now,
mhm.
it's it's Friday technically where I am, but
Yeah, it's Thursday. Yeah, where I am.
yeah,
So
well, yeah, it's midnight here. But anyways, yeah, I mean that's all we got. I think
mhm.
I don't know. I think I don't. I'm pretty confident that there will not be a tie in these predictions.
Yeah.
We didn't copy each other's homework here.
Mhm.
I also am very confident right now that it's going to be a great week of showcases. I think that
Mhm.
um, everyone is kind of poised to deliver, and I'm excited to see them
I
all.
like the idea that this is the first showcases both of these that are under fully under new leadership. Think about it. Hideki Nishino for Sony
Oh
now
yeah,
a full year, and Asha Sharma now like this like so it's like it's interesting that under him now it's like let's go back to theaters to show this thing even though it's still called state
yeah.
of play.
It's
So it's like I
interesting.
feel
Well, the PlayStation, I mean, the PlayStation ones I feel are a little bit less personable.
mhm.
Like, I think sometimes, like, Herman would say something in the beginning and then that's it. I feel like the Xbox ones usually
He's
have,
disappeared. Yeah, Sherman disappeared for so many of state of the last state of play he was in was January 2024 when he announced facing with Kojima.
yeah.
So
So
it's
it's
been
going
a
to be
while.
interesting. I'm interested to see how much Asha, like,
Hmm.
communicates or speaks because technically she hasn't done that yet. Like
Hmm.
she's communicated in messages like memos and things and she's had interviews that were transcribed, but she's
Hmm.
never like been on camera talking about Xbox to
Yeah,
Xbox.
not yet.
So if this
Yeah.
is her breakout, like that'll be interesting. I've seen her talk about other things in her career and she's definitely a good speaker.
Hmm.
So yeah, it is. I have a feeling everything that's going to be shown here and the plans for this, barring some maybe like tweaks, was kind of already set before she took over. Like they start planning these like
Hmm.
December, November of the year before. So,
Yeah.
but no, it's definitely interesting. I think this is kind of like everybody seems to be like kind of turning a page.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm
And
excited.
there's more imminence with the Xbox because the change of leadership just happened. The Nishino thing happened like sometime last year, where a co-CEO engagement got like broken up, and one got demoted, one got ascended, one like was like we're going back to Japan because we're getting our ass kicked. Uh, like the realignment of priorities and all that has taken an entire year.
It
So
could be the new person's decision to make this a bigger event and invite creators and the media. Like
mhm.
that could be a new direction that they wanted to go. So
Yeah,
I
it's like
mean,
I
yeah,
would hope because they become so impersonal, and I feel being so impersonal is what has hurt the excitement for a lot of that brand, despite the fact that it's been so successful. But it's like, if you don't have that personality, if you end up losing the next round, it's like it will be easy for people to move on because you became so impersonal. So it's like that makes it so much easier to move on because like you didn't care for me, you took me for granted. Bye. So I think that's what I always said. So I'm very excited from that perspective. To me, it's just the fact that they're showing it in theaters. It's been 8 years since the last time they did that. I feel that says something, even though it's called State of Play. So that's why I'm excited, finally feeling like there is like a legit participation. Because to be fair for Sony, they had State of Plays before SGF before. The last 2 years have been before. They just felt small. Well, the first one felt small. The one that had Astrobot and Concord, that one felt like smallish, and it leaked in its entirety too, so that killed it too. But the State of Play before Summer Game Fest last year was considered one of the better ones, and that was a very Japan-centric, no first party heavy show. But that's the one that revealed Marvel Token, and that was like a big deal, especially for the fighting game community. Getting that game was like, holy crap, they're investing in that Marvel fighting after Marvel vs. Capcom was like gone, and all the Japanese games after Sony had been ignored. So that had something good. And obviously the State of Play from earlier this year was one of the better received ones, and obviously people have forgotten because all the bad news literally hit after. They got a taste of the Xbox experience there. But it's like we'll see. That I'm more excited for that because like it's good to that at least they want to feel like participating in a bigger way than before.
Yeah, so, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. Maybe we'll even get the Fluke guy return.
Yeah,
it's been so long.
8 years. 8 years since the Fluke guy.
But anyways, that has been the Game Positive podcast. Thanks again for Alex for joining me, and I can't wait to talk Summer Games Fest when you get back home. Until then, remember to have fun, everybody, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Peace.